It's a blood clot vibes. Survives, yes, family, large up yourself with yourself. You know what it is, it's your host, Selah Shalom, coming in on the ones and twos. You know how we do. It survives. It's a blood clot vibes. Yes, probably large on this one. You know what time it is? Your host, Selah Shalom, on the ones and twos. You know how we in the mornings off. With the vibes. Yes, family. People are chiming, yeah? Light, creating gang in the building. Got a brother coming on today, interesting topic. You know how we do, you know what the hygiene do. What about a little spliff I take or two before the hygiene gets started, yeah? System in order of creating. It survives. Good fam chiming in. Yeah. Yes, family, you done know the vibe. So we just, you know what I mean, getting started. We have to wait for the brother to pull up all this. We'll speak on this Holy Bible of Canaan. We'll go in and explain some things in the book. And of course, y'all can raise y'all questions. Raise your concern. After the build, you know, open up the line, whoever want to ask some questions. You can definitely get that in. You did. So just peace, patience, and light for now. So just wait. Shout out to the Creator Gang. Shout out to Prince yesterday. That was a nice little build with the young God. You know what I'm saying? Those out here seeing the light, seeing creators light, shining forth. You feel me? Yes, family, I see the family chiming in. If y'all watch me roll my big head spin, yeah. It's about Kayla, I see you in the building. What say, sis? The Nephilian goddesses. Peace to the Nephilian goddesses in the building. Just simming. Stephanie, I see you. BC, I see you. Boo, I see you. Bitch, we still here. Ain't nothing changed. Shout out to that nigga Sonetta. Shout out to Sonetta. I heard him, I was watching one of the videos and I heard him shout me out about the Zaria goddamn track star nigga steady running. Hold up, it's the brother right here. Let's see what you're talking about. Yes, that was the brother. He's about to step on board. He's about to get to it. You know what I mean? Make sure my shit on mute. We're gonna have an excellent build. Yes, family. So we're going to get this thing started. The topic of discussion today is Selah Shalom presents Brother Hassan, or Moray, better known as Father Satan, with a controversial topic. And we're going to be going into his Bible, the Holy Book of Canaan. You know what I mean? So get ready, get ready, get ready. So let me go ahead and bring the brother on real quick. Boom. Peace to the God. What's going on, King? How you, brother?
Peace and prosperity. Sibling, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Good. I want to first thank you for having me on your platform, bro. I've been watching you for a while, and I've been checking out your Atlanta videos.
Oh, okay, no doubt.
Hey, that's off the chain, bro. What y'all are doing is amazing, and it's like you at the preliminary stages of greatness where y'all can take that all kinds of places, bro. Y'all can do some even more major things because having a black production like y'all do and having it that good where you got that many people working together,
right,
bro, it's a beautiful thing, bro. And I thank you for, enlightening me to your show. That I've binge watch them.
No doubt. Give thanks, man. I appreciate that, man. That's love right there.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, man. We finally got you on the platform. You know what I mean? I know it's like we spoke before. You said you got a lot of people hating on you for the fact that, you know what I mean, what you bringing to the table, but over here we ain't got no love. I mean, we ain't got no hate. We only got love. You know what I mean? We respect everybody's viewpoint, whether we agree or not. We respect the fact that, you know what I mean, you standing on something at least. So if you want to introduce yourself to the people, who are you? How did you get the name? A little bit of your background, and then we'll go into the book itself.
Okay. Well, of course, my name is Father Hassan. I am an actual ordained minister, even through the Catholic Church. My history go back. I was raised as a Christian, Baptist, Shalom Baptist Church in little old Morris Point, Mississippi, a long time ago. And I was a devout. I went to church probably like 3 or 4 times a week. One of them Christians.
Right, you done know. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I went to church about 3-4 times a week, man, including choir rehearsal. And well, my walk, my life, in the way everything was organized. My auntie that raised me was a devout Christian, but my uncle on his side, he was a witch doctor, and he went by the name of Dr. Crunch. So people would come to him in the crunch time. And this man would using voodoo, many different spells, bro. He was like one of the biggest guys in the Mississippi, Louisiana area, in his area, one of the biggest guys. So I seen both sides, and I seen the damage of Christianity, and I seen the damage of our more indigenous practices of animism, because that's really what voodoo and voodoo is. It's more of the animus. We use herbs, we use animal bones and all of that kind of stuff. I've seen the damage and I've seen the blessings of both sides. But the name Satan or Ha-Satan, I was blessed to join the military. And the reason why I say I was blessed to join the military, I tell many young brothers today, man, if you stuck in the hood or you stuck in the environment, I tell parents also, if your sons are stuck in these environments where they're not being productive, the military is a life-changing thing, especially if you take out the time to figure out where is the best place for your child to go and the experience for them to have. It can change their lives. And the military changed my life. I was actually, as soon as I joined the military, we went into war with Bush and Saddam Hussein. And I went to Desert Storm, Desert Shield. They had like 3 or 4 different deserts. They was all in the same place over there in Iraq. But while I was over there, I was able to actually make my umrah, which is you go to pilgrimage to the city of Mecca, because I was kind of like, by that time I was like Dr. York / Farrakhan / Black Power, you know, in the 90s,
Right.
we had the onks that we used to wear things, man. I did all of that, but I was able to make my umrah, and it was in the city of Medina that I got an awakening, where a brother came up to me and he said, you do know, and this was a brother, he said, you do know that your people in America are truly the people of Canaan and the jinn. He said, y'all are the children of Satan. Now, initially, I was offended. He said, but think about it, bro. And he started breaking it down, and we're going to get into this. But
let me interject real quick.
Yeah.
That brother who said that, is he an indigenous brother to over there in Mecca, or was he like an American like us that traveled over there?
I think this brother was from the UK, based on his accent. I think that he spoke perfect English, but he also spoke about 4 or 5 different other languages. So, I ain't no way, because he spoke French too. So, but he was building with me on how the Afro-American did not know who we were. And he said that the American government was using us as a jinn in a lamp and a genie in a bottle. We have the power to bless those who curse us and curse those who bless us. That's the infection that he said that we got on us right now. We are blessing those who are cursing us, and we are cursing those who are blessing us. He said, but y'all have the ability to build nations, do this, do that. This brother was going off about how we are the basic gin in the lamp, and the white boy rubbed that lamp, and he can win a war. Listen, when I was in Saudi Arabia in Desert Storm, by the way, I never forget while I was over there, Saddam Hussein came out and get a national report. Y'all think Saddam Hussein lost because America's army was so good? No. Saddam Hussein refused to attack America because he said America is wicked. They put God's children on the front line, the Afro-American. This is what Saddam Hussein, I was there, bro. I was there. in Kobar Towers, and we was looking at this, and it was a national broadcast throughout all over Iraq and Iran and Kuwait. And Saddam Hussein came out and said, we are not retaliating, we are not attacking back because Bush, a very wicked man, has put God's people on the front line, and I cannot attack them.
Wow.
So if you ever wondered why ain't no country ever attacked America, it's not because of America's weapon. It's not because of their missiles. It's because of you, Afro-American.
That's deep.
You are the jinn in the lamp. You are the genie in the bottle. Ain't nobody more powerful than our brothers, and ain't nobody more powerful than our women. But what happens when these entities that have this level of power get corrupted? What happened? They become sort of like the Nephilim. Many of us are actually Nephilim, and we don't even know it. We're not the children of God. So you got to realize there were three factions. There were the original people of earth, there were the gods, and there were the children born from their mixture. And there were the children born from them creating a clone. Okay? We'll say there were four. All right? The gods, the original inhabitants of earth, those gods who were able to mix with us genetically, because there are many gods who were not genetically able to produce a seed. All right? And then there were the clones. But wow.
Okay, let's go back before we get there, because your military campaign is real interesting. So you were stationed in Saudi Arabia. You was in Mecca. Did you have a chance to actually go to Iraq?
Yes, I went to Kuwait. I was in Iraq. I was in Iraq and I was in Saudi Arabia, but it was Kuwait where the shit was going down.
Now, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
When you was over there, did you get a chance to see any of the ancient monuments or ancient relics over there?
Yes. I got
Speak on that.
Okay, well, I got to visit when you make your umrah, all right? Not only do you visit the Kaaba, you run around the Kaaba 11 times, you drink from the well of Zim. I got some Zim water in there, Zam water in there right now, where they say in the Bible, Ishmael was about to die, and there was a spring of water that sprung up that Hagar, what's her name? Yeah, was it Hagar?
Yeah, you're right.
She was able to give him some water, and they say that's the well of Zim. Anyway,
okay.
I was over there. I seen where Adam and Eve supposedly came from and all of that while I was over there in the Iraq, Iran, Kuwait area. But the most powerful thing that I experienced when I was there was when I was walking down the streets of Mecca. They had bricks paved, striped with gold, brother, in the streets. You're walking on gold, right? In the city of Mecca. But at the same time, you look on the corner, there was a little black girl from Sudan that was selling her body with a baby on her back. And then she came up to me, and I said, no, sister, no, because it was so hurting to see this little 13-year-old black girl selling her body with a baby on her back. And she wanted me to take her in the back alley, bang her back out for what could be equivalent to a goddamn 50 cent in America today. And this was in Mecca. And then I said, brother, I turned to the imam and I said, brother, what is this? We're in Mecca. And there are little black girls selling their bodies in Mecca, bro. And I couldn't believe it. But later on in the journey, in the thing, We got to run around the Kaaba 13 times or 11 times, whatever the thing is, and kiss the black stone. Well, there was this other dark-skinned sister. She was in hijab and everything, and she wanted to kiss the black stone. And she got up to kiss the black stone, and an Arab started beating the shit out of her with a fiberglass rod. And we almost had an international incident over there because we was all we was in that black power shit strong, but we ain't understand, nigga. You're in another country. They got
you understand the politics over there.
yeah, you got to be careful. But he started beating her, saying, Abib, Stafala. He beat her for just touching the. So we blocked.
What does that mean for those who may not know?
Abib mean nigger, low, dirty, defiled. Abib. He started beating her. So we blocked off the black bro. Me and about 5, 6 other brothers blocked off the black stone, and we opened up the thing for that sister to come in and kiss the black stone. But after that, you know, they allowed us to see the Kaaba. They allowed us to go into the Kaaba to see what was in the Kaaba. And the only thing that's in there was statues, about 99 statues, about 100 statues.
You talking about inside the black Kaaba?
Yeah, they gave us a tour inside of the Kaaba. There's
I didn't even know you can go inside that shit.
Yeah, you can go inside. They do it for special guests. All right, and they considered us special. So we walked inside the Kaaba, and all we saw was about 99 little statues, and the number 1 statue was named Alat. They actually got. Boy, I wish if I knew what I knew then, I would have kept the paperwork from, and because they wanted us to remember. There was a little statue named Alat that was separated from the rest of the statues, and that was where Allah come from. Alat, which is a female deity that came down with the original gods that we're going to be talking about in the Holy Bible of Canaan. Now, but where I get my name from, Father Hassan, of course, witnessing Islam, Christianity, seeing the deacon finger pop somebody's wife in the back with all the fried chicken and the cakes and stuff in the back of the church. Seeing all of that debauchery, all of that led me to question things. And not only question them, I want answers. I don't want to just question them. I want answers. So I started seeking. Well, when I was in Washington State, Father Jedediah Wright, and I put his name in the book. And I put his name in the book because the book is written esoterically, which means there are hidden messages that are meant when you discover, you've heard the overall and over said again statement, when you seek, you shall find. A lot of times when we get locked in the program of religion, we no longer seek the truth. We think we already got it. And that's when you're locked. The Holy Bible of Canaan has been designed to free you from that. The Holy Bible of Canaan frees you from thinking that you know everything. So let's say, for example, when you was on Sanetta's channel, the level of cognitive dissonance when you was battling brothers that were calling in on you about the Hebrew Israelites and the things about the Bible and how the Oahspe Bible has revealed to you higher levels of learning. They were cognitive dissonance in its greatest format. Right? And I mean, it's like, oh, how dare you say that? How dare you say that David killed that brother just to steal his wife? He did. How dare you say that Jonathan and David was tongue kissing each other and they had an intimate relationship? They did. It's just like we're reading the book. we're reading these books. Now, when I was in Washington, I was about to move to Atlanta at the time because I had heard that Atlanta was the Mecca. Boy, you want to go to Atlanta? It's the Pastor Finger Popper.
You repeat what you had said earlier. That was a good one.
I like that, but
that's what you said. He repeat what you had said earlier.
I know. I said the finger popper.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Hey,
you know, we got some humor around here, so you know what I mean.
Hey, as long as I keep it real, and I do want to give a warning out to my siblings, and I call you my siblings because, hey, we're all here to learn, right? But there are going to be things that I'm going to be sharing with you tonight that are going to be extremely controversial. And once you hear them, you can't unhear them. So I'm telling you now, don't just condemn me. Let's build on it, because I'm not holier than thou. When I was ordained in Washington State, I was dealing with this. I was about to move to Atlanta to free myself because Atlanta was the boy. You go to Atlanta, that's the black Mecca at that time, and I wanted to get there. And I went and bought a trailer from this Catholic priest who was a Rosicrucian. And I started building with him because I had been studying on the Dr. York. I had been studying on the Farrakhan. I had been studying on the different, what is it? There was a different Bible. I can't remember that. Everybody used to follow this other Bible that used to be out. But anyway, this actual Catholic priest ordained me with rainwater. He said, after we build, he said, he called me, he said, you are a black priest. He said, we prophesied of your kind coming. He said, I ordain you. And he said, this is more of a protection for you from my kind that will not accept you. He said, we do this in Africa. We ordain priests all the time, and I have the right to do that. So I have ordination, and I have paperwork on it too. Also, you know, for those who need paperwork, I really don't need paperwork for what I'm doing. But I am a Catholic priest. I am an ordained Catholic priest. So I call myself Father Ha-Satan, not as if though I am your father. Not like that, siblings. No, I am your brother. You are my brother and you are my sister.
All right, let me interject real quick. So, and that's respect, because you're showing your resume and your track record of your work. So, you know, your resume always speak volumes. So, how did you choose the actual name Satan? What made you actually be like, you know what? Like me, Selah Shalom, I like, yo, Selah, that's a dope name. You know, I seen it in the Bible or whatever. I try to look it up. It ain't got too much understanding on what the true meaning of it means. It's kind of just, you know what I mean, abstract, whatever. So I like, you know what? I'm gonna run with that. You know what I mean? Selah mean pause. It means reflection. All right, cool. I'm gonna run with that. So when you thought of Satan, knowing the controversy that surrounds the name, what made you decide to say, you know what? Fuck that. I don't give a damn what nobody say. I'm rocking with this name. Because I have another homie. When we were young, he used to always be like, yo, Lucifer's an ill-ass name. And we used to look at him crazy, but we start thinking like, Lucifer. If it was no conspiracy around the name, yeah, that's a dope name. But the conspiracy makes you back away from the name. So even with Satan now, with the controversy surrounding that name, what made you decide to pick this name, knowing that how religious people think, especially black religious people, they look at Satan as the adversary. And a lot of people are shallow-minded. They're not leveled. They're not layered when it comes to intelligence. They're kind of on the surface plane. So their first look at you will be, oh, why would he call himself that? And hey, you got to go try to explain it or whatever. So go ahead and explain the nature of how you chose the name Satan, which carries a burden based off the concept of the name. And, you know.
Wow. First of all, I'd like to thank you for asking that question. That's an amazing question, because it's something that I battled with, sibling. I actually battled with that. I knew that many of our people are in elementary stages of their growth at this point in time. And they can't deal with the name Satan because they've been taught and programmed by a demon to hate and rebuke the name of Satan their whole lives, not even understanding that Satan is what? Satan is exactly what our people need. Our people need an adversary to their actions. Did you not know that every prophet that ever came, even in the Bible, was a Satan? Every prophet that came against the children of Israel and came against the children of God to teach them and to tell them the wrong and the right that they were doing was considered to be an adversary or a Satan. He is a what? An adversary and a accuser. And even after, in the book of Job, when they supposedly kicked him out of the Garden of Eden, Satan rolled up in there on God and the angel in the middle of their meeting, and God stopped the meeting and said, Satan, what's up? What have you been doing? He said, I've been roaming to and fro, seeking for those who are transgressing. I've been looking for people who are doing wrong so I can destroy them. So you got to realize Satan is something that is necessary if you are a righteous people, or you are people who have a divine spark in you to go to the next stage of evolution. You need a Satan. If you don't have an accuser, right now the black woman don't have an accuser. That's why she's getting away with all of the shit that she's doing. She's become a whore because there's nobody to accuse her or to be her adversary. Right now, the black man has become a goddamn whoremonger because he has no accuser. He has no adversary. When you have no Satan, you get away with unadulterated sin and transgression. I don't even want to call it sin, but I'll call it transgression. All right? You get away with unadulterated transgression. So you need a Satan. So I had to take the hard lesson, and I had to swallow the blue pill and say, hey, man, or the red pill, whichever one it was, that said, what are you going to do? Are you going to follow your true path that I've called you? Because I've been told this by other people who were in esoteric knowledge, including Father Jedediah Wright. He told me, he said, you're the Satan of your people. See, in the Rosicrucian belief and other belief system, a Satan is a high title to have amongst your people. You are a Satan? Well, then you are so necessary. You are so valuable. Without you, the longer Satan is quiet and not accusing these bitches of being on fans only, not accusing these niggas of promoting that shit, this is why we are where Satan has been too quiet. And guess who told you to rebuke Satan? A demon. A demon who wanted you to be defiled, who wants you in homosexuality, who wants your daughters to be promiscuous. See, you got to understand that right now we need a Satan, and then we need a revelation and an understanding of the difference between God and Satan. I hope that explains it.
Hey, I can't even argue that, because like that was a good explanation as far as using the word adversary and accuser as a way to get the people in line. So it's like that was all right. I get where you're coming from now. I'm clear.
I'm going to and fro looking for somebody. Hey, bro, I wake up to cut the heads off of those who are leading and misleading our people.
Yeah, because one of the brothers earlier, he asked me to ask you, like, I mean, like, why you choose the name or what made you choose the name. So by being that you just explained it, hopefully it's more clear for the brother. I get the concept. I get the point you're saying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's deep. I never looked at it like that.
Yeah.
As far as how you put it in perspective.
Yes.
So
there are going to be other Satans to come after me. But I take an honor in being Big Brother Satan, the first of our kind to awaken and to accept my destiny and to accept my responsibility to my people. Because if I'm quiet, bro, I was getting my behind whooped, the more quiet I was.
Let's go into the book now. Let's
Okay.
Let's go into the book real quick. Now, let me ask you, starting out, the table of contents. You could you know, like skim through just the table of contents, the title of the table of contents. Just give a briefing on each title, maybe no more than 30-second explanation, because it's a couple of them to go through.
Okay, yeah, let's do it like this. The Holy Bible of Canaan was written into 2 tablets. All right, and the tablets represents really esoteric time intervals. So tablet 1 represents the Genesis or the beginning, and tablet 2 represents Novus Ordo Seclorum, a new world order. All right, that's when we got introduced to Europeans or white, the Aryan, the white man, and that's when shit really changed for our plane or our planet, right? So the idea about the tablets, what I want to go to actually in the Holy Bible of Canaan.
Yeah, matter of fact, you know what? Yeah, let me let you go ahead and I'm gonna let you flow through the book how you see fit, and I'll just raise the questions as it comes.
All right, thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate that. In on page 6, for those of you who have a copy, I want you to understand that it says, warning, mature content. Please be advised that this work contains pictures of subject matter that may not be suitable for children. Now, remember, this book is esoteric. So what you're reading may not be what you think you're reading. So when I wrote that in particular, we can stop right there and ask yourselves, why do you call yourselves a child of God? I'll say again, and what is the true definition of a child of God? When we think about how God did Adam, Adam slept with the animals first. I'll say again, you read in all of your ancient texts, your Jewish text, which is where you got your Bible from, Adam of the Bible slept and had sex with the animals trying to find a mate, right? So right there you can see the relationship between God and his children is somewhat questionable. And that's what I want you to understand.
Let me interject right there. So now, reference to us that man was having sex with the animals. Kind of go in a little more on that. Where you get that from? Somebody may ask, well, where did you get that from? Or how did that concept come about?
Okay, that's the original text. You can actually do the research in the ancient books. They don't hide that Adam had sexual relations trying to find a mate amongst the animals. And that's so significant to everything that comes after that. Well, you can find that in the original text of the Bible. They say that even when Adam named, you got the King James version, how they watered it down, and Adam named the animals, blah, 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 and there was no mate found for him. And some of these original texts and in these Jewish books, see, a lot of times brothers and sisters be like, oh, the hell with the Jewish books. No, you can't say that, because these Europeans are the ones who canonize the book. They are the ones that put the books together. So you got to be careful about what they canonized, what they accepted, and what they kept and hid away from you. They used to think it was a cool thing to teach you that I knew even in church, when I was a little boy in the Baptist church, they taught that Adam slept with the animals first before Eve was born and Eve was created. This was something that was just taught amongst the Christians and amongst anybody who believed, the Jews and anybody who believed in the scriptures. That's why I said right now on page 6 of the Holy Bible of Canaan, you got to establish what the relationship of God and his children were in the beginning, so you can understand that if you are a child of God, if you are, thank you, there you go. Bestiality, as a matter of fact, there were rites of passage that a lot of these biblical, they even said that during the time of Jacob and Esau, Ishmael and Isaac, they would actually have sex with their sheep. This was a normal thing. This is why laws had to be written. Oh, but wait till you understand who wrote those laws to stop God's children from doing this. Now, many of you don't. Before I even get into the Holy Bible of Canaan, I want to just say, did you not know why the book of Enoch, one of the most powerful books amongst the pantheons of religious writings, the book of Enoch, one of the most validated books, is the one that they didn't add into the canonization? Why is that? I say again, the book of Enoch, one of the most powerful books outside. It is, I would say the book of Enoch could be even more powerful than the Bible itself. Why didn't they add that into the canonization?
Yeah, that would if they would have had the book of Enoch in the Bible, that shit would have took it tenfold.
But they all acknowledge how serious it is. It's because of Azazel or Azrael. Azrael. Azrael and those other so-called watchers, or those fallen angels, are the ones who wrote all of the scriptures. Siblings. No God out of the 7 of the main ones, right? Remember, your own God in the Hebrew Bible said, "Thou shalt not have no God before me." Never said there ain't any other gods. He didn't even say you couldn't worship the other ones. This is how evil this son of a bitch was. He said, "They shall not be before me." And here the brother, he's putting up Azazel. All right? Now listen. Now Azazel was also known as Satan, but Azazel was the leader of all of the other rebellious angels. And guess what they did? Azazel and the angels that could mate with the children of earth did so, and they produced a seed, and those seed were known as the Nephilim. And their whole purpose was to destroy the children of God. And why is that? They wrote the children. That's where you get your books from. The gods wanted you to be naked in knowledge, naked in armor, naked, just stupid. He wanted you to do nothing but mine gold. When God created his clone, that's all he wanted them to do, was to mine gold for him.
Let me interject real quick. So let me go back a little bit. So let's go back before the gods came, right? So the indigenous humanoids on this planet, who were they? Like, who were the first humans on the planet based off your concept?
They were called the Nagas. And the reason why they were called the Nagas is because the people of earth have what is known as a serpent that lives within our bodies. Some call it a serpent, some call it a sentinel, all right? And some call it a soul. It's a living, breathing entity that is connected with the earth itself. And it's only given to the Nagas, or given to those who are in harmony with the earth. It's a spirit that only comes from the earth. This spirit and the people of earth was known at that time, before the gods came here, we were known as the Nagas.
All right, pause right there. All right, so I'm clear on that. Now, the Nagas, is there a locality where they started and migrated, or were they created all over the planet? Like, go on that.
Okay, well, at that time, Pangea and the other, like, there's like 7 or 8. Pangea was the only time land separated. All right, but Pangea was the most notable, or the one that they focused on. All right, but before we became infected, we were just on the earth with everybody. Imagine Earth, if you will, as a measureless plane of existence, where there are pockets and bodies of water and land, pockets of bodies and water and land, unlimited, right? And a specific area of this unlimited land gets infected. A dome was placed over us. Right now, all of us who are in the diaspora of Earth, as we know it, are actually quarantined off from the rest of the earth. We're under a dome, a real dome. So
let me interject. I think what I'm saying is that, let me rephrase the question.
Yeah.
Where is the origin of the Nagas? That's what I should say. On the earth. Where did they originate from on the earth?
Well, sometimes, my brother, this is one thing that I don't get into. And now check this out, because when you go back to, when you get obsessed with, I want to know who was the first time. All we know is the Nagas has always existed. They have always been the people of earth who had what is known as the serpent, or the sentinel, or the spirit that lived in them, that came from the earth, that protected them. That's when that happened, how it all started, I cannot say. And
all right, I'm clear on that. I'm with you on that. I'm with you 100% on that. All right, so what about, let's get into the gods now. So when did the gods come to the earth?
The gods came from a collective of different areas, where the planet Venus, or the North Star, the Bible likes to talk about the planet Venus and the North Star quite a bit, because we have had dealings with the North Star. Those gods needed resource for their planet to survive. Their planet was dying, so they came here to Earth.
Now, would that be Venus, the planet you're referring to?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Go
ahead. The gods, or the inhabitants of Venus, came here with their high technology. But when they came to Earth to get resources, we had a crack in our dome. And this dome, the crack in the dome, sucked those gods into the dome, and they became entrapped in the dome with us. And when they became entrapped in the dome with us, they tried to live off of our resources, enslaved us, like the sons of light and darkness in the Dead Sea Scrolls talk about.
Let me interject real quick. Yeah. Now, these gods, are they gods based off their technology? Or
yes.
Are these terrestrial humans like me and you? They just more advanced?
No, they had more tech. As a matter of fact, in stature, they were shorter than us. They average about anywhere from 3 to 4 feet tall. That's one of the reasons why, when some of the others mated with the people of Earth, the children of gods who also were short. You remember back in the days where all Asians used to be short, all Mexicans used to be short. I bullshit you not.
Yeah, they're the shortest niggas on the planet.
Hey, go to these people from India, used to be short. I can break down in the Holy Bible of Canaan, we break down where these genetics, they used to be short and they used to be black skin. Not dark skin, black skin. Right? This room just
It's my nigga Tony in the building. Shout out. But now go move forward, King.
Yeah. But yeah,
so all right, so you saying that so the gods came in with the technology.
They got trapped.
They got man to mine gold for them.
Yes, and then we eventually rebelled against them. And when we rebelled against them, they said, well, you know what? Screw them. Let us make man in our image, after our likeness. And that's where the fallout between the God, the Nephilim, and the fallen angels supposedly took place. The angels didn't fall from heaven. They fell from an order that had been existed while they was trapped on earth just like us. They was quarantined. Once they got sucked through the great, once they got sucked through, they got in prison on earth with us, and they've been here. They've been here ever since. They got sucked in, and they've been here ever since. Well, once we started battling against each other, the God said, fuck it, I'm going to make man after my image and after my likeness. So that's why all of the clones originally was very short. They were like 4 feet. Mexicans were 4 feet tall. That was their god, Quetzalcoatl. And then you got the people from India. Their god was very short. They used to be short. People from China. We know that all Buddha also used to be, that people were short. They didn't get tall until they started mating with the Aryans, who came from Mars, who was much taller than even us, but they were dumb and they had hair covered all over their body. But I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I really wanted to focus on the
go ahead. No, I just wanted to interject and ask that.
I need you to interject. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I just wanted to get us understanding, like from the beginning perspective, and then from there we could go down through the ladder of the history.
Okay.
So, but now you can go ahead and flow through the book how you want now.
No. In the beginning, the gods came to our plane. They tried to enslave us. We eventually rebelled against them, and they decided to make man after their own image and after their own likeness, hence the children of God. But if you look at that relationship between God and his children, how he allowed their men and their women to sleep with animals. He allowed them to do all of these debaucherous things. And I brought up the book of Enoch and why they don't put the book of Enoch in the Bible for a reason. It's because the book of Enoch actually tells you it was the fallen angels that taught the children of God all about war. It was the fallen angels that taught them about the scriptures, taught them about God, taught them about how the history. It was the fallen angels. God didn't want you to know nothing. God wanted his servants to be naked. It was the fallen angels that gave them. So there's no holy book that exists that didn't come from a Nephilim, which is what I am. I'm a child of that mixture, right? Either the knowledge came from a Nephilim or the knowledge came from one of the fallen angels who wanted man to kill himself in order to stop the growth, which was the children of God was like an infection on the earth. So the angels taught them war, how to make swords and how to fight against one another to control their population, because their numbers, because of how they made it and they went about mating, they had to teach them rules about, no, you can't just screw this and do that. The numbers was getting out. They was fucking like snakes, like in orgies, and thousands of children were being born. Millions of children were being born. So the angels wanted to slow the growth of God's children. But getting into the Holy Bible of Canaan, one of the reasons why my mission has been come, and then truthfully, those of you who get an opportunity to read the Holy Bible of Canaan, you will see that once you read it, and you truly, there's a different, let's say, selection of different people who read it. Some people read it and they put it down because they are afraid to read any further. Because if you keep reading it, it takes you out of your cognitive dissonance. That's what it does. And that's what I decided to do in this day and time. The Nephilim and the fallen angels of God used to want to destroy the children of God. That's why I said, warning, this is not suitable for children. If you consider yourself to be a child of God, you already have marked yourself to be, how a child have an unbelievable belief in their parent, no matter how bad the parent is, no matter how wicked the parent is, no matter how wrong the parent is. A man could walk up to you and walk up to a person and shoot his loved one, and that child will support his dad that did that evil thing. And that's the mentality that a lot of people take with God. Well, this book has been designed to eradicate that. In the foreword of the Holy Bible of Canaan, we speak on many things, but one of the things we speak on is the flat earth. A lot of people go ham. Oh, he's a flat earther. Man, you're not going to be, we can't take you serious if you're talking about the flat earth. Well, did you know, and I had an article a long time ago. That's why I wish that I held on to stuff. But it was an article from the 1930s where they used to believe that the earth was actually flat and we were covered in a dome, right? And they were talking about people who believe in a globe earth. And they were actually arresting people who believed in the globe earth. This was just in the 1930s and 40s. That was just not 70, 80 years ago, siblings. You get what I'm saying? They was literally arresting people who believed in the globe theory. It wasn't until later that they saw that they could use the globe theory to actually manipulate you out of your natural mindset by what you look up into the heavens and see every day. And they can actually give you what's the guy who faked the moon landing, yet they never went back to the moon. But yet,
Neil Armstrong?
Yeah, Neil. No, what's the guy who actually the movie? He actually shot the movie.
The Apollo movie.
Hey, baby, what's the name of the dude that shot the movie? There's a white boy. I can't think of his name. I don't want to say Martin Scorsese or some shit like that, but he shot a movie, and he shot the movie for NASA because they was in a space race, NASA and Russia. So one of the things that I attacked in the Holy Bible of Canaan was actual documentation from Project Admiral
Bird.
Admiral Bird.
When he went to the inner earth,
yes,
and met them beings.
Not only the inner earth, Admiral Byrd and the whole United Nations siblings, they got together and they did a survey of our circumference. And what they found was 360 degrees, we are covered by a wall of ice, period. They went from 1 inch to the other in a full 360 degree. They came right back to where they started. And they saw that we're surrounded. We are quarantined. We are quarantined on the earth. Right now, all of us who are up under the earth are infected. So I wanted to bring that out and build on the flat earth first, but getting into the holy truth. All right, getting into the holy truth. The holy truth gets into the programming of the mind.
What page is that in the book, The Holy Truth?
Page 14. All right. Now, there's a part of our brain called the basal ganglia. I'll say it again. The basal ganglia. The basal ganglia in your brain is where, through repetition, you teach another compartment of your brain to operate in what is called auto mode. All right? You perform in auto mode. So you got pack, which is program the auto character, and you got hack, habituate the auto character. Scientists found that you can actually tap into this person's part of the brain, and guess what they used to figure it out? They used religion. They studied religion and how religion is in the same place as the part of your brain where you register religion is in your basal ganglia, where you use cognitive dissonance to just put on blinders and go straight forward ahead. And that's called habituating the auto character, which means you habitually, habit forming. You habitually do something without even understanding why you're doing it. Not even understanding whether you're right or wrong. Not even understanding whether it's good for your children or not. How many women go to church without their husband? And the preachers say, well, at least you and your baby is going to make it to heaven. That demon. How many brothers have a different spiritual practice than their women and don't even understand that your woman is being led habitually by another spirit? So packing or programming the auto character is different from hacking. Hacking is you got the church choir in the background, you got the preacher yelling at you. He breaking barriers in your subconscious mind to hack your basal ganglia, right? But when you programming your auto character, that's what the Holy Bible of Canaan was designed to do. Program. It's a program where we take you step by step to understand if you're packing or if you've been hacked. All right?
Before you turn the page, go and explain. I like how you did the vowels and the vowel. Go ahead and touch on that.
Okay.
You can show them. You got to
Yeah, sure. And I know many of you have seen this before. All right? Well, your vowels are vowels. Your syllables are syllables. Your spelling are spells. Your writings are rights. Your cursive writing is curses. And you know, it's actually interesting. I learned in the Rosicrucian, when you write words a certain way, I can write stop in a certain way, like in cursive, and it has more power than writing it in print, believe it or not. And there are other things you can write in print that has more power than you do when you write it in cursive. But the point that I'm making is all of these, I know you've seen this before, but the Holy Bible of Canaan talk about how in the beginning was the Word, and the Word is God, right? Not was, the Word is God. What you let come out of your mouth and the things that you say and the things that you manifest, all right? The things that you do, even the word that's in your mind, all right? The words that is in your mind will affect you before you even release them. So you got to be careful what you're harvesting and what you're holding in. All right. So right here, we get to this part right here where it says, let me get this right. It says, your voice commands your body and spirit. All right. So when you say, I can't, I won't, it's hard. I don't believe. I'm a skeptic. I don't like it. Or the white man won't let me. Which is one of the most important ones. Or what about this one? These are more subtle. I'll try. Hey, man, you're going to be able to make it? Man, I'll try. All right? I can try. I'm trying. Anything, I'll make an attempt. All of these words are based around your power of manifestation. You done spoken into existence. Let's say you said, hey, man, you're gonna be able to make it. I'll try. Put it like this. Even if the person showed up, putting that frequency of try, or I can't make it, or I won't make it, all of these negative connotations proceed to send a force of energy out from your soul or your very being that actually affects how good the meeting is going to be. Let's say you say, I'll try to make it. When you do make it, you're going to have a negative time because you didn't set it. Hey, bro, I'm going to be there. No matter what, I got this. I know how important this is. Have you ever did business with somebody?
No, that's real talk right there. That's real talk right there.
Yeah, you did business with somebody who said, hey, bro, hey, man, I need you to be here on this. Oh, man, I'll try to make it. Nigga, I'll try. Do you know how important this is? Yeah, man, I'll see what I can do. Well, right then and there, I'm on this tip. I don't even want that person to be there then. Because now you're going to infect everything. Everything that's going on. So you got to be careful about people who don't understand. And then you got at the bottom right here, you got the I can, I am, I believe, it is done, I can do it, I can do anything.
That's an excellent point right there.
What? You can be dealing with a brother or a sister who don't have the resources financially or don't have the resources materially, but they got the spirit. They are programming. They packing. You know what I'm saying? You packing or you hack? Are you hacked or you pack? You packing, right? When you talk like that, I can. I will. I got you, brother. No problem. I got you, sister. You talk with a surety, right? I'm not saying that I have not experienced doubt myself and how doubt is one of our greatest infections upon our souls. I say again, doubt is one of our greatest infections upon our souls, right? But when you can get into that spirit of saying I can, you know what it takes? You got to program yourself. You got to program the auto character. How many of us be driving to work every day? You're driving to work, and now you finna really get in touch with the auto character, the basal ganglia of your brain. The basal ganglia of your brain allow you to get up every day, 5-6 days a week, and go to work, and you could be driving to work, I swear, for about 15 minutes, and you will become aware, oh shit, I've been driving and I wasn't even conscious. Have you ever experienced you've been driving for a long period of time on your way to work, and then you just become aware? That's the basal ganglia. That means you have been hacked, habituated. Or what about those of you who go to church and you fall asleep? Everybody got that picture of somebody with their mouth, their mouth open in church. But guess what? When you wake up, amen, amen. You wake up out of your sleep saying amen, not even knowing what you're clapping at. Huh? I do that a lot of exits all the time. Exactly. But hey, you might miss the exits, but you don't get into an accident. Your cognitive, the basal ganglia is just cognitive enough to make sure you don't run into another car or hurt. Now, some people fall straight asleep. Don't get me wrong, but that's a prime example, especially when you're passing exits, that you're not programmed at that time. You're not programming your auto, you're hacking. It's like, who gets up 5-6 days out of the week and go do work for another man? Those of us who have been hacked. All right. Brother Selah, I sent you a picture of something in your email that I want to build on later about the difference between hack and pack. And it's called proof, but you'll see it. But I'll get back to that later.
All right.
Dealing with the, and I hope y'all can see this. All right. Okay. It says this is what you bring out and what is blocked by. Your cosmic energy, which is your ability to receive information, natural information from the sun, the moon, the earth, the cosmos in general, is blocked by ego attachments, right? When you get insight, your insight is blocked by illusion, right? All right? Truth is blocked by lies or the fear of being found out. Love is usually blocked by grief. Have you ever seen that woman? She's a beautiful sister. She's great, but she got what is called baggage. That grief that she got came from that dude that slit her throat. That dude that not only cheated on her, just dogged her out, treated her like dog shit. Now you got her. And now you trying to raise her up, and she telling you horror stories about what this nigga did to her. And you wonder why she can't love you? The Holy Bible of Canaan gets into those relationships and make you understand why you act the way you act. Willpower is blocked by shame. And then what do they teach you in the Bible? You are wretched. Oh, you're a no good person. You're this and you. They teach you cover yourself. Adam and Eve was ashamed. All right. So you lack willpower when you don't believe in yourself because shame blocks you from being able to believe in yourself. Pleasure is blocked by guilt. There are a lot of things, once again, that our women have went through that is disgusting. The number of men that they've been with, the sexual activities that they've had to experience with these men and the things that they did, they feel guilty. So a lot of times they can't even enjoy themselves a lot of times because men are projective. So I'm gonna be using the example of women a lot. But a lot of times I want y'all to understand that we got to understand why our sisters are in need of us to bring our psych game up. A lot of us don't understand that when you get with a woman, you got to continue to be her father. You got to continue to be her provider. And I swear to you, you got to be her fucking counselor. Do not let her go to somebody else and get counseling. You got
this sound like some pimping 101 right here.
Hey, you don't need too many people in her receptive mind battling with what you say, because you might tell her, oh baby, that ain't, I don't agree. The counselor shouldn't have told you to go counseling 101. What you need to do is this other shit, right? but you won't be able to get in her head because the preacher or somebody else then got into her brain. So a lot of times our women can't even experience pleasure the way she's supposed to experience. Have you ever ran into them sisters that when you make love to them, they start crying? They just bust out and say, you say, what's wrong? What you crying? Why are you crying? It's because of guilt. She thinks, oh, I wish I would have waited. I hate that I gave myself to that nigga and all the dirty shit I did. You don't know.
That's actual facts, yo.
Yeah, a lot of our sisters do that, man. It's because they can't experience, they want to experience pleasure, but they feel guilty for doing it. It's blocked. And last but not least, survival is blocked by fear. Many of us believe that hey man, we dead, we're gonna die anyway. And that fear of living, not even fear of dying, it's a fear of living. A lot of times you think people have a fear of death. No, not in this generation. We have more people who have a fear of life now. And so the value of life is going down. Right now, I'm going to tell you, and this is going to hurt some feelings, and I don't mean we're finna get into some heavier parts of the Holy Bible of Canaan that is going to be a little bit trying. So brothers and sisters, as I share this with you, please don't be offended. If you have a question, please ask me and I will build on it. But there is a lack of success that we need to set a scale as men. That if you don't have a woman, I don't trust you. This is number one. Number one amongst us, never trust a man who don't have a woman. He ain't got shit to lose. Now this is way back when I was a little boy. You don't never trust a man who don't have a woman. When you started seeing a nigga 30, 40, 50, 30 some years old and you ain't got a woman, you ain't got a woman, something is wrong with you. And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong, my brothers, with embracing the fact that there's something wrong with you because there's been someone spending night and day to get you to that point where you ain't got a fucking woman at 30 years old. My sons, I don't care if the nigga's unhappy. He better have a woman at 30 years. And you're going through it. You fight, nigga, boy. All right. Number two, you must have a lineage and children. I look at men who say, oh man, I'm 30, I'm 35. I don't want no kids. I don't want to, you hear them say, I don't want to bring kids into this terrible world. No, we need you to bring kids in the world to undo the shit. It's asinine to say, I don't want to bring and selfish. If you worth any goddamn thing, we need you to be producing children and teaching them and upbringing. How you think we're going to reverse this shit? Why the wicked is fucking left and right. The wicked is fucking in the clubs. The wicked is fucking in the bathroom stalls getting pregnant. And you talk about you don't want to bring no child into this world. You out of your goddamn mind. But you call yourself righteous? Never trust a man who do not have a wife or a child. That's number one. Don't do business with him. Hey, you can do business with him, but boy, you better look at it the side eye, because that's going to be the nigga that's going to fold. That's going to be the nigga that ain't got nothing to lose. I ain't saying the nigga with wife and child can't be gutter and niggerish and dirty. Yes, he can. But I don't trust no man that ain't got no wife. I don't trust no man that ain't got no children. And that's out of the Holy Bible of Canaan. These are some of the wisdoms. As we go on, of course, we understand that right here we got the Bible kill count, right? Now, so many of you going back to the name Satan, and I told you, you need an adversary. A people who don't have an adversary, a people who don't have an accuser gets away with shit. You get away with murder. You do it, and that's why you hate Satan. Oh, Satan, I rebuke you, Satan. And you've been taught to fear Satan because you've been taught to fear the very person that will stop you from your transgression. You've never heard Satan do nothing but go to and fro looking for motherfuckers who are sinning. That's all you ever heard. And but cognitive dissonance, you've been hacked. You didn't read it the right way. And that's what the Holy Bible of Canaan is. You've been bit by a serpent, if you know anything about biology, in order to save a person from a severe snake bite, they have to take that venom and re-administer it into the same body in a different way to save this man's life or that woman's life. That's what the Holy Bible of Canaan is. And making you understand that God's kill count and Satan's kill count is two different things. God is and always have been a murderer. And God is and always have been controlled. Your concept of God has been controlled by fallen angels. There's no holy book that was written by God or ordained by God. Not the Quran. All right. As a matter of fact, the Quran was written by Catholics because they got up on what the gods had did with the Enuma Elish and all of the other holy books, the Bhagavad Gita. All of those books were written by fallen angels who wanted man to war against one another. He didn't just give them swords; he gave them the knowledge of how wicked his God was. But the children of God are so lame. They're so lame that they don't care about the truth. All right. They don't care about the truth. But one of the things that I want us to understand is that before the gods came in, we had the basic knowledge of understanding reincarnation, and we had a basic balance with our ancestors. All right. We had people, like, let's say, y'all remember you go to the family reunion, and you'll see the old ancestor that's 70, 90 years old, sitting in the wheelchair. That being was in that wheelchair waiting for one thing, and that was to be born again. So we would go to family reunions and we would kind of communicate with each other, and we would build amongst each other, and we would know all of these things. And we would know that character. And that person who lived to be 90, that person would take all of their wealth and give it to one child. This is where inheritance really came from. In hopes that you would not only take my wealth, but take my wealth and I come back and I'm born under that wealth that I gave you. That's where inheritance. You don't just give somebody inheritance for the fuck of it just because of your child. You give them an inheritance in hopes that they're going to bring you back in the understanding that not only going to bring you back when you die, but that wealth that you give them, they're going to cultivate it, and it's going to still be growing by the time you're reborn again. I don't want to get too far ahead, brother. You got any questions, or you see any questions, or anybody chopping?
No, I'm letting you flow for now. You know what I mean? And later on, we'll raise a couple questions if anybody want to come and raise some questions with you. Okay, so I just, you know, just flow through the book. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, moving on. Now, if you notice, and this is one of the things that I want to share with you about how it says the fool, tablet 1, and then it gives you a reading about how the fool or the terror plays into this book. See, a lot of people don't know that the terror comes from Canaan. It was used to be one of our ancient practices. That's right. The terror actually comes from Canaan. It was the story of the fool. The fool first went out on a journey on his own. Then the fool would meet the magician. So there's a story about meeting the magician. So in the Bible, even talks about that. All right. So when we're dealing with, let's say, with the story of Cain and Abel, Cain was one of the first Nephilim. I'll say again, Cain was one of the first Nephilim. And all of the Nephilim children had one thing in common. They wanted to kill the children of God. Why did they want to kill the children of God? Because the children of God represented an imbalance in the ecosphere and in our soul and in our environment. We're already infected in a dome. We're already infected under here. We didn't need all of that extra shit. So the story of Cain and Abel is literally about the first Nephilim killing the first child of God. And how that plays out later on is, right now, I went through a battle myself believing in eugenics. I wanted the earth to be clean. When you are an original child of earth, you don't say, fuck the earth, I don't want to come back to this bitch. That's that clone shit. When you hear anybody say, man, I can't wait to die, so I won't come back here no more, that's the clones. And that's the way they live their life. They don't understand how valuable the earth is, and they don't even understand the value of being reborn again. So a lot of us believed in eugenics and the cleansing of the earth. That's why we're so happy that God tried to wipe his seed out. He wasn't really trying to kill the Nephilim. He was trying to cleanse his own seed too. And he actually repented. And it says it in the book of Noah, God repented for making man. He didn't say God repented for the Nephilim mating with man. No, he said God repented for making man. And that's why he sent the flood. He admitted that he made a mistake. You cannot bring an entity in a land where people already exist and create your own. That's like me taking my seed and splicing it up and creating a million clones. You can't do that shit. You're going to cause an imbalance. The Holy Bible of Canaan gets into those stories, reassessing the Bible, and going through it, explaining the tarot as we go, because the tarot was the original build on that. So a lot of Afro-Americans as Canaan, you are Canaan, which is the humble host. The gods first called you Canaan because you were the humble. When they came to our plane and they said he created the sun, he didn't create the sun. In the Holy Bible of Canaan, he surveyed the sun. When the land appeared, he didn't create the land. He surveyed the land. He didn't create the waters. He surveyed the waters. All right. So this is one of the things that we get confused on. Those gods did not create the earth. They came to the earth and they surveyed. And I don't want to keep, going back and forth with the same old. But as we go through these stories, you have a synopsis, which is the story is called Degenesis. That story is before the gods came to the earth. And then after our fall and after our infection, we go into what happened after the gods came. And it kind of goes throughout. So we get into stories about Abraham and Sarah. I don't want to build on every story.
But you know what? All right, let me I got one for you. What caught my attention in the book was when I seen the Sphinx with the Anubis head on it. So,
okay,
touch on that. Say it again.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. And I'm trying to find that because you sure you want to talk about that?
Yeah, because I did a video on that a couple years back.
Okay. That's page.
And I found it quite interesting that Anubis.
110.
Oh, all right.
Page 110. All right, so this is what you're talking about. Right? So siblings right here, was showing you that the original Sphinx was actually the god Anubis. It was a statue, and it was a protection ornament, if you will, that they built to keep the gods out. That statue of Anubis. Now, what happened when you got the Sphinx head is on the next page. All right, put the kids to bed. We're gonna have a conversation that's gonna make some of you uncomfortable. All right, from Sphinx to Sphinxter. Now listen. In Egyptian Roman sex magic, it was believed that psychic powers, listen to this, psychic powers could be awakened by vigorous stimulation of the sphinxter via anal sex. Listen to me, siblings. Now, I don't agree with this. First of all, I think it's disgusting, but we got to talk about where and why they put that head and why they call it the Sphinx, because these are Greek words. And the Sphinx, from the origin of the Sphinx, even in Greece, comes from the sphinxter, which represents the anal. All right. It says bright flashes of light would be precursor prior to activation. This practice was originally performed on female oracles who wished to prophesy for their kings and pharaohs. Later, homosexual leaders began to crave the power for themselves. The statue of Anubis was then changed and used to promote the secret homosexual order. Also, there are damning evidence that the Sphinx head and the so-called Great Pyramids may be less than 400 years old. Many Egyptian scholars seek to hide the true corruption of the Sphinx, while others boldly make mockery of the ignorant public. Now, let me explain something to you, because Nature Boy, Young Pharaoh, Tahuti, y'all remember Natural Tahuti? All of them dudes taught that through their anus, they could be activated. I'm not making this up. And this is that's where that secret order comes from of the Sphinx. And you need to know that, because see, when I was a young man, I was taught to worship the Sphinx. I didn't even know what it. Oh no, that's a lion head, a pharaoh body. Well, what was the pharaoh? The pharaoh's face that they had on the Sphinx came from a Greek. That's Greek. About to man.
That's my man Yari right there.
Yeah. I'm just dropping some heavy. Now, I said we about to get deep and we're going to hurt some feelings in here, but it's okay, because you got the, Dr. Inky. Yes, he did. He did. Oh, he went hard on it. Dr. Inky went hard on it. How a lot of these, but Dr. Inky went even deeper in exposing that a lot more people believed in. I think Dr. York, he brought out it was so old. You're right, brother. That came out about 5 or 6 years ago. But that's where the Sphinx comes from. And even the Sphinx that's in the order of the Boule, that's their image. Yeah, a lot of them fraternities. Why you think a lot of these brothers who and sisters who are in fraternities have to have sexual practices? They be building on that now. Yep, a baddie doctrine that. Yeah. All right. But that's one of the things. All right. Now here's another thing we finna get into. If that helped, is that on the Sphinx? Do you need me to elaborate on the Sphinx, or if I went on?
No, yeah, we can keep it moving, because it's a thick book, so we can just skim through. I just want to just get just touch on that.
Okay. a lot of us, right here, in the beginning was the Word. And I hope this is reading up right on that. In the beginning was the Word. All right, so here we go. The power of the Word refers to a specific language that was spoken amongst the original inhabitants of Earth. Last known as Amarukan, it was an indigenous language of Canaan, harmonizing with the frequencies of their bodies. All who knew how to wield its power were more powerful than the gods. For good or bad, this language had the ability to influence the physical surroundings, and it also held the capacity to manipulate the minds of the chosen target. The gods abhorred this speech and forbade any of their clones to speak it, to prevent the usurping of their authority. They also created weak, powerless languages for their people to speak. Hence the story of the Tower of Babel. A lot of you don't realize, oh, I finna get it on this one, bro. I finna get it on this one. But a lot of y'all don't realize that the English language is the original language of Earth. It was not created by white people.
Say that again.
The English language is the original language of Earth. It was not created by white people.
Hey, where Cosmo? Hold on, where Cosmo and Cal at, man? Where Cosmo and Cal at? He in the building? Yo, Cosmo, you need to come in here and hear this, bro. Because last time you were screaming at, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That the English language was indigenous to America. Hey, your man is backing your point. But go ahead and speak on it. I just had to throw that in there real quick.
Yeah. It was called Amarukan. And you hear these people from the countrysides of America say, I don't speak English. I speak American. American or Amarukan or American. So here it is. Fearing the language of Canaan, the gods sought to abolish it. For centuries, this language was thought to be extinct until Welsh and Spanish-speaking Aryan Jews came to the Americas and learned it from the Moorish/half-breed named Sambo. The Sambo races of America who learned it from us taught that to the Welsh. These white boys were speaking Welsh and Spanish and Italian. They weren't speaking no English. English popped up overnight, and then it was just all over the world. Huh? Yeah, you can find Canaan on every continent. You can find evidence of Canaan everywhere. So the dialect or how to write it might have been different because we use pictographs and different things differently, but the language was definitely English. All right. So here's the thing. Now I want to. You still there?
Yeah, we here.
Huh? Can you see me?
Yeah, you good.
Huh? Can't see myself. Okay, there we go. All right. So I just wanted to put that out. A lot of us don't understand how powerful the.
Hey, all right, Cosmo, he in the building. Repeat what you just said about the English language real quick. I don't know if he heard it.
Okay, what I was saying, my brother, is the English language. A lot of them don't understand that white folks took credit for the English language when they didn't even speak English. They spoke Welsh and they spoke Spanish. They spoke Italian. They spoke German language that was based out of German in the Caucasus Mountains. English is a language that is even written differently than any other language. Every other language is right to left. English is the only one that's left to right. Why is that? Right? English is an old Canaanite speech. That's why when we speak it, they call it Ebonics. There's a magic in the way we used to speak. Right? In the 70s, well, what's up with your partner? All right, bro, how you doing, man? Oh, man, energy, power.
Yo, that jive turkey, man.
Man, what? There was power, but see, the white man couldn't handle that, so he had to strip it down and send it naked. There used to be actual, I'm trying to see where them, there used to be actual power verbs. Yes, yeah. There used to be power verbs. And here, right here, if you will, there's a power
What page
verb.
is that right there? What page is that?
That's page 114. It says Old Canaan or Old English power verbs. The more we collectively use these power, the more we influence, more the influence the words shall produce. Warning: do not curse those who bless you, and do not bless those who curse you. When spoken with intents, words will have serious cause and effect. In order to increase the effects of your words, you must practice being tacit or silent by eliminating all idle speech. So the more silent, we used to be silent. And when we spoke, we were cognitive that we spoke. Hey, that's one of the reasons why sign language was brought up. They say a sign language, everybody admit, sign language came from America, all right? A lot of people say sign language came from America. Why? Because how? And the Native Americans, they learned all that shit from us because in the English language had become so powerful that we would rather not speak it. It was just taught that it was almost a taboo thing to say because we were cursing those who bless us and we were blessing those who curse us. Cursed be the Canaan, the lowest slave will he be in this brother's prophecy. Prophecy unfold. Wow. So just a couple of English words of power I want to share with you that's in the book. Ivory. So you are possessed by healing. By commanding this word toward a loved one, know that a swift healing shall come upon them. Ivory. So you invoke, we used to know how to invoke certain words. Let's say Ekad. You are possessed by uniting. By commanding this word toward a disagreeable group or family members, know that deep feelings of loyalty shall overtake them. When you say Akkad, like, so if the family's arguing, we didn't used to say shut the fuck up.
Right.
We had a word that would invoke unity, and that word was Akkad, and we would come together. Because you got to realize, even though you don't know a lot of these words, they are in your DNA. They are in your DNA. I'm gonna get off the English part now. I hope we're just skipping through the book,
right,
so we
right.
can get up to questions and answers. Now, as we go, we're gonna get through some very controversial things, and I think the next controversial thing that I want to talk about is the forbidden fruit.
And what page is that for those who may have the book or may be curious?
Okay, well, for those who are on the forbidden fruit, we can go to page. You know what? I'm gonna get to it because I'm not there yet.
Hey, check the screen real quick.
My brother, you can get the book off of Amazon. You got to spell it holy with a WHOLLY, Holy Bible of the Jinn. You can get it on Amazon. Just know that once you get the book, you will never see things the same. Your mind and your eyes will be open. I'm not into pseudoism. A lot of people go, oh, it's pseudo. No, I don't do pseudo. I don't do pseudo at all. But what I want to get, we're going to get to the forbidden fruit. It's page 137. All right? Now.
Hold up. Give me 1 second, King. Before you go there, Let me
Yes,
make
sir.
sure. Let me make sure this is right and exact right here. Hold up. Is that it right there? Is that it?
That's it. That's it.
All right, I'm gonna drop the link in the chat.
I
So when they
appreciate
get the
that,
book,
bro.
they can just hit it in order right then and there. So the link
Reverse.
is in the chat for the book from Amazon. If you want to get it, they go to link. Bomb. All right, you can go ahead, Ken.
Thank you, brother. Reverse esoteric psychology. We got esoterics who have used your hidden knowledge against you, and you don't even know your value. You don't even know your power, and that's dangerous. Can you imagine a baby playing with a gun, a loaded a revolver? That's kind of like what we are as Afro-Americans. We have what is called a sentinel, or we have a soul, or we have a serpent that lives within us that came from the earth, and we don't know how to use it. And a lot of us are being killed off by a serpent because we don't have a relationship with it. But that's another thing. We're going to get into the forbidden fruit. Now, the forbidden fruit has been mysterious to everybody in the Bible for quite some time, whereas many people have said the forbidden fruit of the Bible was actually an apple. And then some people say it was a pomegranate. And then some people say it was a passion fruit. But the true reason why God did not want them to take a piece of the forbidden fruit is because it had knowledge of good and evil. So you would know what was right and what was wrong. But what has that knowledge in it? You look around all of what fruit that I can bite that had that. Now, some of you finna get grossed out, but look at here. Yes, look at here. That is the forbidden fruit in the tree of knowledge and good, of good and evil. It is the placenta. Siblings, half of the problem that we got going on today in our world, the reason why we're lost is because our women are so detached, and you are so detached because you used to get it through the breast milk. But they're even proven, it's been proven. Have you ever wondered how the buffalo or the wildebeest travel thousands of miles across the Serengeti to a water hole? Some of them ain't never been born in. I say they travel thousands of miles. Some of them ain't never been there, and they make it, even if they have to make it on their own and they get lost, they can find this water hole. So scientists were flabbergasted, and they was like, how do they have this genetic memory to go here? And then they started noticing it in other animals. How do giraffe know how to find this tree to eat from? How do the lion know how to hunt this way? Know where the grazing grounds of the antelope? How do they know these things? And they found out it came from the placenta. There's no creature on earth. You get mad at me if you want. Like I said, now we finna have a talk now. Now you gotta decide whether you want to be a child of God or you want to grow up right now. You want to be hacked or you want to be packed. All right. The placenta is supposed to be consumed. If your woman do not consume her placenta, she cannot get that genetic knowledge, that genetic memory, right? Be fruitful and multiply. To be fruitful means to digest and to eat the fruit. But of course, the God of the Bible meant it otherwise, but it was a well-known tactic of survival. You must consume that genetic knowledge. And a lot of you like, oh my God, he's a cannibal. He's talking about eating, where you got every other creature on earth. There's not one creature that produces a placenta that don't consume it besides man. And you know what's really bad? is 10 times worse or 1,000 times worse when it comes to black people in America. You got people in Africa doing it. You got people in other brown-skinned people who know this knowledge. But Afro-Americans, you're childish. You're locked in cognitive dissonance. And you're calling me, he's a devil worshiper. No, I'm putting you on game. I'm showing you how to go to that next level. See, you want to keep being mortal? You're not even living 1,000. You're not even living. Many of you say, oh man, we used to live 900 years. We used to live this. Well, what happens when you think it's going to happen? When you stop consuming your placenta? What do you think? Your numbers are going to drop. You don't live as long as you're supposed to live. You're not as wise as you're supposed to. You're not as knowledgeable. You're supposed to be able to go to a piece of a plant and know what kind of medicine that your grandmama shouldn't have had to write that in a book. It's in the placenta. All of that knowledge. You'll be drawn to, man, I don't know why I want to eat some pine leaves right now. Diabetes. Pine leaves cures diabetes. It's that simple. We used to have that knowledge when we consumed our placentas, but we don't anymore. Now, me, myself, I have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've had 8 placentas. Now, my lady, I'm going to tell you, because I've just delivered 6 of my 12 children, my lady and I, my Jeannie, could you come in for a second? I'm going to introduce my lady real quick. We've been together now for how long we been together, baby? 2 days? 100 years. This is my Jeannie. All right.
How you doing, sis?
Doing great. Peace and prosperity.
All right, blessings.
Me and my Jeannie have been together now for over 32 years, and we've had about 8 placentas, 9. Because we didn't understand the knowledge of the placenta at first.
Yeah,
it was 8. So could you share them your experience from not consuming the placenta and how it was like and what you experienced and when you did? And you got to speak up.
So it was the first floor. We did not consume the placenta. And that's when women experience postpartum depression.
Postpartum,
the lack of energy, like after you give birth, you don't have any energy, you lay down, you just want to sleep and can't move. But once we started, when I had my first placenta, I felt like I got like an upgrade. I got all my energy back. I was able to get up and wash clothes and
I mean I noticed the difference.
Yeah.
From her consuming her placenta. See, I had to tell. I was like, "Girl, we just got up and just like, I'm so full of energy." She was just like vibrant and it's so high powered. I remember that.
The midwife was crazy because I gave birth, got up, took a shower, and actually went and played a video game.
Yeah.
And that's the day of the birth.
The day.
That was 20 minutes after giving birth. Yes.
20 minutes. All right. Well, thank you, baby. I just.
Blessings, yo.
All right, so just with her testimony, I'm sure that if you got sisters who are out there right now who are experiencing postpartum depression after having children, or let's say the father, even if the father wasn't there, it will help her to have that placenta. It will help balance her out. There are many hormones that woman went and she put all of that into making the child. There's no way she's going to be psychologically. See, these are some of the things that our sisters are going through, and we're wondering like, why our women are going crazy or why we're having so many problems. It's not just the placenta. I'm going to go to something else. Now,
let me ask you something about the placenta right quick. So, like, how do you consume it though? How does that work?
Now, oh man, the experience. See, when we first got it, we would dehydrate it because this was the way they say dehydrate it and put it in capsule, grind it up, and put it in a capsule form. So we're just taking placenta capsules. And man, it would be like taking steroids. You take these capsules and you'll feel like, right? But what we found is, and this is only after we tried to cook it, because we went online and we found a recipe where we tried to cook it, and it was so inappropriate that we tried to cook it that from that point on, we would just take portions. You got to know what parts of it that can be consumed and what parts can't be consumed. There's a film kind of like part, and then there's a meat side. You can tell which side you can eat and what side you can't. Well, you take portions of that, bloody and just natural. Soon as it comes out, we eat it just like animals eat it. Why? Because that blood, those nutrients, and I tell her, oh, you shouldn't eat blood. You shouldn't eat blood. Oh, you shouldn't eat blood. All this. Hey, but the nutrients that goes, but you can eat a half rare steak. You can eat a, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I like y'all don't like that. Mine well done. No, I like mine medium rare. Whoop, man, whatever, man. The thing is that the best way to consume the placenta is raw, straight out of the womb, and within the first like 3 hours of the birth. As a matter of fact, when your baby come out of the womb, sisters, make sure that you do not let the doctors get that needle and take that blood out, because it takes about 5 minutes, 5 to 9 minutes after the baby is born, the placenta is about to put some very special blood, stem cell blood, into the child. Many doctors will hurry up and try to cut, as soon as the baby born, try to cut the thing, and they'll capture that blood because that blood is invaluable, right? No. You let that baby is supposed to get that. The placenta is actually a living organ, and it will stop pumping. You can feel the pulse. It'll stop pumping when the blood is done. Now, once that blood is done, your baby is healthy. And your baby not only is healthy, you know, all those shots, vitamin K, this, that. They got to get that baby before a baby is goddamn 2 years old. A baby could have had 6 inoculations. Why? It's because of that blood that did not go into that child. You test it, like if this is the umbilical cord, you test it with these 2 fingers, just like that. You clamp it and you wait till that pulse stop. Once that pulse stop, that baby got all of the inoculation it need. It don't need no damn COVID shot. It don't need no damn tuberculosis. It don't need no damn, cyst shot and all of this shit. It's in that blood. That's why the white man keep capturing that and taking it away, because it happens right when the baby is born. They try to hurry up, catch that blood. Them stem cells are important for your baby to get that. But you got to eat the placenta raw. I mean, you can do the capsules. I felt the energy when I dehydrated it, but it wasn't nothing more beautiful and more powerful when I sat there with my lady and we ate them raw. Yes. I ate something. Look, it's so crazy how you eat meat, you eat beef, you eat this, you eat that, you eat this. And but you don't.
So when you ate it at that point, was there what was the feeling like? Like,
I'm going to hell.
Mm.
That's what I felt.
So like when you and your lady ate it, did y'all how did that work? Like y'all broke it in half, or how like?
No. I got a sacred knife, a holy knife, and I blessed the knife. I cleansed it and I blessed it, and I actually got the knife and I cut all of the placenta off that was edible and put it on a sacred platter. And then when I put it on the sacred, I cut it all off. I would do the ceremony where I
y'all did a ceremony. Okay, I see.
Yeah. I would cut it up and I would put it on a sacred platter, and then I would bring that platter to her. She would eat over 3/4 of it, and I would eat somewhere around 1/4 or a third of the, and she wouldn't eat it all that day. She'll eat some that day. She would eat it for the next like 3 days until it was gone. And when I first ate it, I seriously felt like it was a cognitive dissonance in how I was raised. I'm eating flesh. Oh, I'm a cannibal. I'm
No,
evil.
not the psychological, but more of the anatomy part of the body.
Oh,
Was there like,
bro, I felt an overwhelming connection to the earth. Where this is when I started my campaign to make sure that you go outside and you put your feet on the ground. You make sure that I don't know, bro. I stopped lying. I used to be a player. I lie all the time. And I said, you know what? No, I know I need, as a man, I need another woman, and we're looking for our other wife now, right? And I would I would I wouldn't lie. I stopped lying. I grew in size, where my bulk, my weight went from, I was 145 wet. I was 145, and now I'm 250. So it knocked me up. Every placenta that I had, I gained unusual muscle mass, and I gained unusual bone density, and my skin became clear. I didn't get sick as much as I used to get sick. Everything changed for me. So, for as anatomy, man, whereas I used to, I still wear glasses, but I didn't have to wear my glasses as much. Yeah, because you got to realize everything that goes into the placenta goes into making that baby, which went into making you. So I really was blessed, because me and my lady, we got all together. We've been together for 32 years. We had 5 girls and 7 boys. So I was blessed to have, male placentas produce more bone density, more dominance. And this is one of the things she noticed she noticed also the difference. I should have had an accident. There was a difference between the female placentas and the male placentas, where when we consume them. So I only consume very little portions of the female placentas. Very little portions.
No one to start having hormonal issues there.
Yeah, I mean, because it was not only an experiment, but it's like we're being introduced, and I wanted to be connected with all of my children.
No doubt.
I've eaten their placenta, so I'm connected to them, man. So yeah, that's this placenta in a gist. Many of us are having mental problems because we lack the connection to the earth that we used to have when we consumed our placentas. But the best way to consume the placenta is raw. And you got to realize, when you put your grown folks pants on, you get out of the religious aspects of, oh man, you're sinning or you're transgression. No, this is life. There's nowhere in the world your God is going to create the burden of proof. Exactly.
Let's touch on that next.
Okay.
Let's touch on where it says NASA confirms superhuman abilities gained through sun gazing. Let's touch on that next.
Okay. There's no way that your God is going to give you an example of all these things to go by and not expect you to follow your example. So if you see all of the animals doing it, you're going to think, I'm supposed to do it too. So for those who think
like
otherwise,
the old saying goes, monkey see, monkey do.
hey, man, that's how we learn. That's
Yeah,
how we
right.
learn that's how we learn what plants was poisonous and which ones were healthy.
That's right. Trial and error.
What page is that on, bro?
The
burden of proof. Oh, here it is. I got it. NASA confirms superhuman abilities gained.
471.
Thank you, sir. Gained through sun gazing. You know, I remember, I don't know if y'all remember, but back in the days, you used to tell us, don't stare at the sun, you'll go blind. You'll go blind if you stare at that sun now. Well, the truth of the matter is, because blue eyes and recessive eyes have a different reflection color in it, like when our brown eyes reflect light, the light that goes into our eyes are more of an ultraviolet purple color, which is healthy for our brain. Our brains should not be gray matter. Our brains should actually be lavender. When they do, one of the reasons why our brains are gray is because you're lacking ultraviolet light. Your brain, the color of a person's brain should be lavender or purple, right? Especially if you got generations of sun gazing. But sun gazing, it has been found we can get over 50% of our nutrients through sun gazing. I've went out there, and not only do I sun gaze to, what I do is I go lay out on a nice piece of ground with grass, and sometimes I wet the ground. Just like you step in electricity and it's wet, you can get electrocuted. Sometimes I wet the ground and I lay out in my backyard. I love this Texas weather. Sometimes it's 90-something degrees or 100-something degrees, and you're laying out and you're sun gazing, absorbing all of that power. Where the thing is, through each eye, there is a different part of your brain. All right? Through each eye is a different part of your brain. So sun gazing will actually affect different thought processes. And I'm trying to see, there's so much in here that is in here also about, have you ever seen somebody do this? And then they do this, you'll see the actors and the actresses and the people.
Oh yeah. You talking about yeah. I thought you was talking about when you're going to get your glasses at the.
No, I'm gonna find this picture in here, and they dropping that science on sun gazing when they do it. And let me find this real quick. And
then after this, we could go into some question and answers.
Okay.
If anybody got some question and answers,
I will be honored to, because I definitely got a couple of more controversial things. Here it is right here. See? Yeah.
Yeah, I seen that. I remember seeing that.
All right. When you let light into one side, it gives you the ability to send out energy. When you let in light to the other side, it gives you the ability to receive. So knowing the difference in the Holy Bible of Canaan tells you that sometimes I'll close one of my eyes when I want to gain wisdom on a certain thing.
Mm.
And then there are other times I will close one of my eyes, and then there's a balance between, both eyes. But when I want to project something, I will let light in that particular eye, because that's the image I want other people to see. Or that's the feeling or the energy that I want them to get from me. So sun gazing goes far, far beyond what one might think. Sun gazing go into actually our ability to influence one another and each other. It's a pretty powerful thing. But one of the things that I want to share before we go into the question and answers is on page, what is this? And this is the Psalms. The Psalms are very important in this book. This book has its own Psalms, and I would suggest I would like to read 3 Psalms just real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, do your thing, Cain.
The secret codes of the jinn. All right. the book of Psalms, right?
What page is that?
That is page 209. And the first Psalm, we'll go with the first Psalm, and then I'll read two more, and then we'll go into question and answer. The first secret is that there is no religion stronger than truth, and there is no lie stronger than religion. I say again, there is no religion stronger than the truth. So this is why we got so many people arguing about their religion. No, I'm approved. That's why I never argue. Because I understand that everybody's religion has a little bit of truth in it, right? And that might be where that individual, that brother or that sister is at that time. It's okay. But I want y'all to understand that I am Nephilim, and I came to give you the truth about your God, just like Azazel did, or Azrael did in the book of Enoch, which is one of the reasons why they don't like promoting the book of Enoch. All right, so randomly, let's just go to okay. It says, let me see. There's so many good ones. Can you read one, bro? That just randomly, whichever one you go to. It could be a short one.
Let me see. All right, I got one.
Okay. Which one?
This on page 211, and it's verse 10. Be cautious of whom you call a friend, for there is no honor amongst the wicked. Therefore, if you choose a thief to be thy acquaintance, though you would not steal from him, know for sure that he shall surely steal from thee. And if he be a murderer, though you would not kill him, know for sure that he could easily kill you. Once again, be careful of the company you keep. That's street protocol.
Yeah. These wisdoms are in here, and it's funny you say street protocol, bro, because that's where we got a lot of this knowledge from. Believe it or not, some of it come from working at a strip club in Atlanta. I used to be a bouncer at Dirty Rats.
Okay.
And man, the wisdom that will come through them doors, you'll be surprised the knowledge.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people condemn them street brothers for being ignorant, but the truth of the matter is, man, they put me on so much game. I put it in the book to share it with others, and that's one of them. That's one of them.
Even the strippers got knowledge of self. You'd be surprised.
Yes,
they just in that field of work.
Exactly. When your life is having contractions, this is number 17. When your life is having contractions, don't be afraid. Instead, prepare to be born.
Now, go ahead, King. That was a response to somebody in the chat.
Okay.
You good.
Yeah. Prepare to be born. Sometimes we go through different things in our lives that are upheavals and they seem difficult. But the truth of the matter is to make your life better. Once again, the Holy Bible of Canaan is designed to take you to the next level. I can only, now, I don't want to go in the story of Abraham and the story of this.
You know what? We could do a part 2 to this. You know what I mean? We could always do it because the book is so extensive. We could definitely do a part 2.
Yeah, so I just wanted to give you just some of the wisdom. And then we have a part in the very back for sisters, because we can't just, leave our sisters out too. But it's a whole section called, let me see. I'm going to see what page it's on, sis. So it's knowledge for y'all. And I mean, this, look, this right here, it even talks about how birth control turned our women into men and their body shape. Have you noticed how Black women in America used to have voluptuous behinds, voluptuous butts. They didn't need to go overseas to get booty implants. Did you know that that came from birth control? It shrank your booty and changed your whole, give you the big back. Look at that woman.
Give you the SpongeBob look.
Give you the SpongeBob look, sis. Look, I bullshit you not. This is what a lot of our women are going through, and that's why they got to go overseas to fix their bodies, because they've been under the influence of that birth control for a very long time. And it's actually done harm to them, and they're not even shaped like that. American women used to be so fine, it was amazing how beautiful their bodies was. They had that natural bubble, that bubble booty, right? But here, you build on that. Here's the section for the sisters right here. Yeah, go check that out. And,
What's that? What's that again?
That's Wisdom of Cinnamon, the Genie. That's my lady. My lady's name. And that's page 411. And in closing, I got one more thing to show, and then I'll be ready if siblings want to build. Just come in and share. I want somebody to come in and chop it up.
All right, so if anybody got some questions, if anybody want to come in the chat and you know what I mean, raise a question to the brother, you can. I'm gonna drop the link. You know what I mean? Don't be long-winded. Just, you know what I mean? You could drop your question in the chat, or you could hop on. We're gonna do this for about like another 10 minutes, and we're gonna scale out. We're gonna, you know what I mean? Cosmon out, create a gang. What's that right there, King? Speak on it.
That right there is another controversial point. You brothers, menstrual blood, the true eternal mother Mary, the power of the menstrual blood. We are so detached from even that. Now, let me ask you something, and this is just putting you on game now, siblings. If a woman can use her menstrual blood to make you crazy about her and to make you think about nothing but her 24/7 going crazy, what else can she do with that menstrual blood? Can she make you a king? Can she make you powerful? Can she make you confident? Can she make you think you can conquer the world? Menstrual blood used to be used to empower kings a long time ago. Yes, that's right. Menstrual, the whole art of a man licking a woman during her menstrual used to be the concept that this woman would meditate and imbue this man with a power. Maybe y'all ain't ready for that. Maybe I shouldn't go there. Maybe I shouldn't go there yet. Y'all might not be ready for that. That's why I said this is beyond religion. There was one more thing, bro, that I want to share. I'm just showing you how deep the book proves it. Right now, they're taking menstrual blood. Right now, scientists and regrowing limbs, healing disease. I'm telling you, if you were sick, if you had diabetes, and your woman meditated and prayed and meditated, and she was holy, and she put it in her blood to heal you, and you consume that blood, it will go into your body and heal you. We don't even know the power of our women. Look, it was the Catholic priests. Let me show you how evil they are. They had nuns. They were collecting the menstrual blood of nuns and drinking it for thousands of years. But they tell you in the Bible, when a woman menstrual come on, she's unclean. That's not true. She's not unclean. She's dangerous is what she is.
So again, y'all raise y'all questions. Y'all come with y'all questions. The brother out here dropping the knowledge, controversial topics. So go ahead and raise a question in the chat, or you could, hop on live for a hot second.
All right. Well, let's give him a little bit, and now I can see one more thing here. Hey, believe me, I understand if ain't nobody ready to touch this. This might be too much for them.
Matter of fact, there was a couple questions being said earlier, but I was, letting you rock out.
Okay.
All right, hey, he got one right here. What it says? Does Satan period blood? I don't get the question. Rephrase that, some dog. Should I believe him because he's a Catholic priest? Oh, okay. There was the question he asked.
Do I consume period blood? Yeah.
I don't know if he's referring to you or is he referring to like Satan in general. I'm not sure.
Well, I would speak for myself in the sense that if you have a woman that's holy enough, I would not consume the menstrual blood of just any random woman. No, you have to be holy enough. She had to be studied. She had to know what energy she's putting in that blood.
We got a question from Cosmon Cal. Peace, Cosmon.
Hey. What's up with your bro?
Peace.
Peace to the righteous God.
Peace to y'all brothers, man. How y'all doing, man? Interesting bill. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is the most controversial
I would say this is an interesting bill.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
Can y'all hear me? Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Put the window up, though.
Okay. Oh, shit. Peace to the righteous gods, man.
Peace, King.
Peace, brother.
You got a question for the God?
This was an interesting bill. Yeah. It was an interesting bill. My question is, he had talked about cloning in the time of Adam. What my first question is, what is this cloning, and who was doing it, and are they still doing it today?
Okay. When the gods first came to our planet or our plane, they tried to put us to work, right? There were already people here when the gods first got here. We rebelled against them.
You got a time for this?
A time was like when the gods first got here. In the beginning.
Yeah. What? In the beginning.
In the beginning, in the Genesis. I don't get into that. What is it called? The 300 BC shit. I don't get into
that. A timeline.
Yeah, because timelines are flaky.
No. I'm not talking about.
What you talking about?
Okay.
What you talking about in particular, my brother? Can you hear me?
No. I was asking. Yeah, I can hear you. What I was asking was, that you were saying that you don't really particularly follow timelines. Okay. So who was doing the cloning?
The gods, the individuals that came to our planet, we called them the gods. But what happened was they could not enslave us no more. So they decide to create their clone, a creature after their own image, after their own likeness. So they made their own man, and that's what we call Adam today.
So is this basically the same narrative that comes out of the Sumerian text?
Yes. Sumerian text and the Dead Sea Scrolls. They both talk about how the gods came here and end up making their own kind of man because the man of earth rebelled. If that makes sense.
Hmm.
All right.
Okay. Somebody had a let me see. Somebody had a let's see. That's it.
said, what did he say?
I think it was a statement more than a question.
Okay. He said he accepted faith after bringing this out. What is it exactly? Oh, well, my fate is to be prosecuted by brothers and sisters who don't understand me. And that was something that I had difficulty dealing with for a long time, calling myself or accepting the position of Satan amongst our people. I chose to be the accuser. I chose to be the adversary. So that accepting my fate was being accused, shallow shit like that. Now I don't care. If that makes sense.
Position of because when somebody goes on to show maybe a falsity or a misunderstanding in your doctrine, you can still lean back and say, well, they don't believe it because they against Satan, or you dig what I'm talking about? So how do you go about proving the statements that are made in the Holy Bible of Canaan?
Where everything is based,
because it would put you in an unfair position. Either way you look at it, it puts you in an unfair position because either somebody's pointing the finger at you or you're pointing the finger at them. You see what I'm saying? So it puts one in an unfair position. So I was just wondering how you deal with that dichotomy of the understanding of the information brought in the Holy Book of Canaan.
Well, here's the beautiful part about it. I'm happy you brought that up, brother. Here's the thing. If we have a person who disagrees with anything that I share or anything that is shared in the Holy Bible of Canaan, you have a responsibility and a duty to speak up and to share why you disagree with it. I want you to share that. I look forward to anybody debating or refuting anything that has been shared. That way we can have a dialogue on it. I don't claim to know everything, but I am well studied and I am pretty sure that anything that I share, I can prove biologically, through physics, through history. I can even prove it through the Bible itself. So a lot of times, even if that person comes with a different angle on something that I shared, that's like this person asks, are there sources? Yes, there are many different sources, but the sources are like this. Like I speak on the Enuma Elish, but people don't like to use that as a source. I can use so many different books as sources, siblings. But the truth of the matter is, you got to be able to, okay, put it like this. What difference does it make to have a source if it's true or not? We should be finding out if I come out with something. A lot of people like to say, well, I ain't trying to say you are experiencing a form of cognitive dissonance. But if you question the source instead of questioning the validity, you're missing the message. Once again, if you question the source but not the validity, like is this brother teaching something true biologically, scientifically, then you miss. Well, you need to have Ashwar Crazy back that up. You got to have Sonetta.
But no, you actually, to answer the question, you do, because as I skim through the book, I see you reference sources. So Bronze Yogi, he do reference sources in the book. But you have another question on the page as well.
Is ascension and reincarnation two different things? Which one are you for? Ascension for me, my brother or sister, I don't know who asked, but I would just say ascension is what we achieve without death. Where it's like the Enoch experience. We're taken up to a higher level of existence. All right. And reincarnation is exactly what that is. We have to give up our flesh and go back through the cycle of our children that we left behind to come back. So I hope that answers. Ascension is a form of going up to the next stage. You can experience ascension even in the sense of your finances, in the sense of your knowledge, but reincarnation is reincarnation.
You got another question. They got the questions are starting to come in, so I'm gonna just throw it up there rapidly, so you can just
It's
spend
not
about a minute explaining them.
okay. No. Okay, it's not eating placenta and drinking period blood cannibalism. No, it is not cannibalism. Cannibalism is the consumption of the actual human being. So, like, say, for example, is it cannibalism for a baby to drink its mother's milk? It comes from the woman's breast. Is that a form of cannibalism because we drank that? Because that baby drank that? A lot of times we get so hooked up on cannibalism, we don't understand that cannibalism, the transgression of cannibalism is you're actually eating another human being. You're eating a baby. You're eating a male or you're eating a female. You're literally eating them. You're not consuming their menstrual blood, or you're not consuming the placenta, which is another part of the body that comes from a woman that is actually supposed to be consumed. So, like I said, this is grown folks shit right here, where if your woman meditated in the right spirit and she put the right frequency on and she put the right energy in her blood, she can make you crazy about her, or she can turn you into a god, or she can turn you into an idiot with that blood. That blood is powerful and dangerous. It's not to be, don't get me wrong, it's not to be taken lightly, where I want young brothers to go out there half-heartedly just start to licking your girl up and she haven't proven that she's on a certain level or not. Because if she ain't on a certain spiritual level, she's dangerous, what she can put in that blood. No, we're talking about a holy woman, a woman who has been proven. But it's not cannibalism, brother, when it comes, just because it comes from their body. There are many things come from a woman's body that, it's not a form of cannibalism. You're not eating her, or you're not eating the baby.
You got another question on the screen.
I heard him mention about the elders waiting to be reborn. That means you believe in reincarnation. Can you prove reincarnation? Oh, yes, sister, no doubt. I can easily prove reincarnation. Like I said before, our ancestors, where they get the concept, the basic concept of Christianity was to be born again. To be born again. Do you consume? And okay, I'll get to that. Okay. The basic concept is to be born again. So with that being said, reincarnation. Have you ever heard your grandmama? And this is where we got to go back to the old grandmama and the grandpa and all of them old school. Do you remember when they used to say, that looked just like Uncle Such and so? Or that Such and so just came back. We used to know this. We used to know that I swear that little boy is, but it was the older generation that would look at them new babies being born and tell you that, hey, that's Auntie Such and so. She's been reborn, and she's being born in another family that's in the family, in the bigger scope of the family. But we'll go to family reunions and we'll see, ooh, that baby look like my sister. That old 90-year-old woman, or that old 90-some-year-old man, and say, I swear that baby look just like my mama. And the way that baby looking at me, I think that's my mama. They knew it. So, I mean, I hope that my proof ain't so shallow, but my proof of reincarnation is stronger than their proof of heaven and hell. Bet that. Their proof of heaven and hell don't come nowhere close to our proof and our ability to prove that reincarnation is more realistic than heaven and hell.
All right. Yo, Cosmo, you got another question for him?
There was a sibling
right there, like that.
Hold on. What'd you say?
A sibling had asked a question about, do I consume flesh?
Oh yeah, you can touch on it.
And I just want to touch on that briefly, and I let Brother Cosmo go ahead. I do consume flesh, but I do it seasonal. I try to go by in the Holy Bible of Canaan. It builds on how important it is. It is important that we consume flesh. A lot of people say, well, I'm only eat vegetables because it's the healthiest thing. Do you not know that flesh is the only thing that you can eat today that cannot be affected as much as like vegetables that they spray the pesticides, the fungus, and the salmonella? Most deaths are not caused from flesh. And here's the thing that I learned, that me and my lady learned. We used to be vegans. We was vegans. I used to go to Whole Foods and do the whole nine. Or I was eating the little bologna that was made out of vegan bologna. I tear that vegan bologna up, right? I ate that all the time. And we used to eat something called manna. It was gluten. You can turn the gluten into like a meat and fry it up, and it tastes like a steak. Oh man, we eat it with gravy and fry. Oh, we did that. But here's what we learned. When we had children born, right? Now, me and the genie been together for 32 years, and we've had 12 children together. We've noticed that when the children were born, the babies would be underweight when we were vegan. And the babies would struggle, and the babies would come out like she was producing hella milk, right? When we were vegan. But the baby would never get full. And he wouldn't gain the right weight. He was malnutrition. And to this day, don't y'all see how many brothers and sisters are being arrested now for that, especially in the conscious community? They're being arrested. Oh, we vegan. We don't eat meat. And your baby damn near about to die in the name of Yahweh. Your baby about to die in the name of whatever vegan God or whatever they told you to do it.
Cause see, I'll be an example. Because when I first started eating meat, I wasn't educated on what is mineral-based foods that'll be substantial to hydrate the proper organs and stuff like that. So you know, when you first stop eating meat, if you don't do your proper research, you definitely can become malnutritious.
That's
because
right.
You just boasting about how you not eating meat, but you're not doing the research on what fruits, vegetables, grains may have, what your body needs to supplement being malnutritious.
Exactly.
So it's definitely more to it than just, because, you know, the ego is there. Hey, I don't eat meat, so, you know, you know what I mean? You kind of play on that.
Yeah.
But then, like you say, because I remember back in 96, I stopped eating meat, you know what I'm saying? And it was like a little wave of not eating meat. But at the same time, we wasn't replenishing the proper minerals that the body needed, especially with iron, you know what I'm saying? Because iron, we ain't know what plants to get. We wasn't even on no plants. We were just like, nigga, we stopped eating meat. So we still eating rice and beans, heavy starches, and still
that's right.
Dehydrating the body, you know what I'm saying? So it's definitely something you got to be educated on before you make a change like that, because that's a drastic change for the body's anatomy.
And, you know, I would like to say that the vegetarianism and veganism is a prescription. A lot of brothers and sisters need to understand this. It's a prescription where you eat like that only for short periods of time to cleanse yourself from negativity. I'm not saying that vegan is wrong. Vegan is good. Vegetarian is good as a prescription, which is a timed event. So do it only for a short period of time. And then when you get back into eating meat, learn how to eat meat. There's a certain seasons that you should be eating chicken. There's a certain season you should be eating beef based on the weather and based on the season. And that's what the Holy Bible of Canaan teaches you that. And you got to learn these things if you want to truly be healthy. I am 50, I'll be 53 this year. I can bench 425 pounds. I love that. I love that I am that strong. You understand? But I wouldn't be able to do that with eating vegan, because I used to feel good. Don't get me wrong. I used to feel good, but that's the thing about veganism and vegetarianism. You get addicted to that feeling, but it's not a real feeling, because slowly but surely shit started falling apart. And it happened so smoothly, you don't realize how damaging it was for your body. I'm sorry to be long-winded, Brother Cosmo, but there was something you want to say, brother?
No, I was just listening. You know what I mean? I'm listening. You know what I try to take what everybody say with a grain of salt. You know what I mean? What's useful, I apply it. What's not, you know, I put it to the side. So I'm just sitting here listening. But I heard you make a statement about reincarnation. You dig what I'm talking about? So you believe in reincarnation. Can you give us your understanding on incarnation?
On what now? On any?
You gave us your understanding on reincarnation.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
You gave us your understanding on reincarnation.
Okay.
Can you give us your understanding on incarnation?
Incarnation, could you define it? What are you saying in incarnate? Like incarnation to me would be bringing a child into life, because incarnation is like producing a child.
Correct. So and we see that
Yeah, that's like reap what you sow.
Go ahead, bro.
That's reap what you sow, yin and yang. Incarnation requires you to have a certain cognitiveness about PMP. And that's, excuse me, sisters, for being vulgar for a minute, but we talk about this in the Holy Bible of Canaan: pussy, money, and power. Pussy becomes the portal. When we understand true incarnation, pussy becomes the portal where it's no longer just a vagina where we have sex, but we know when we have sex, we have the opportunity to open up this portal for a divine being to come out, or an unholy being to come out. So, you know, and I also want to say that, yeah, elephants don't eat meat either. There are some animals that don't eat meat, siblings, that may have muscular structures and stuff like that, but their digestive systems are designed to eat greenage and shrubbery like that and absorb it on a different level. Like gorillas and monkeys, their digestive system breaks that stuff down on a whole nother level. So they have a unique, just like giraffe. Giraffe don't eat meat, but he's taller than, you know, a tree. So how does he get to be that tall if eating meat is eating meat is for those who's supposed to eat meat. But yeah, incarnation, my brother, is just the other side of reincarnation. We just need to be cognitive that when we open the door, when we're having sex, what we're opening the door to. Could be a very wicked person, or could be a very, yeah.
So we see in real time, in objective life, in real life, in real time, we see the system of incarnation happening 24/7. People are being born, they're coming into life, right? And we see them, they're coming into a physical life and leaving a physical life through life and death. Now, can you show us in real time, because I think this is what the sister was getting at when she asked you to prove reincarnation in real time. Like, show us a person who has been reincarnated, or because in Owaspy, the creator teaches that he never made a mistake. He didn't make man to go back into a womb and be born over again and then forget what you was doing in the first place and then have to relive a whole life. And so we would, as objective scientists, you see what I'm saying? Because, as objective scientists, could you point us in a direction of reincarnation in real time?
Wow. Okay, I get what you're saying now. But here's the thing. I can only give you, as close as I possibly can, an example of reincarnation. And that's based on my own personal experience, and that's based on the experience that others have shared with me. But I can tell you this, it is my personal, and this is as far as I can go with this, it is my personal belief that you're going to come back whether you want to or not. But one of the things that prolongs your ability to come back is children. Do you have children to come back through? So if you don't have children to come back to, that prolongs the time that you come back. And but far as I'm concerned, I put it like this: you're asking me to give you an example of something that we've believed for many centuries, that grandmama came back, such and so came back, and so forth and so on have came back to life, and we've given birth. But it's like, it's do you have proof that we don't come back?
I think I'm talking to you, Cosmo. Hold on. Yeah, there you go.
Well, objective proof that we don't come back. I'm just, the objective proof that we don't come back is we've never seen grandma come back. Never. Nobody has ever seen in the thousands of years that you say we've been believing in reincarnation. Nobody has ever come back and said I was reincarnated at this time. And then we understand as faithists that there are low Druidian spirits who come over people and inspire them with their own memories. You see what I'm saying? And this is what reincarnation is. But to each his own. You dig what I'm saying? I don't knock you for your ideology. We just poke at it. You dig what I'm talking about? Because we like to prove all things. You dig what I'm talking about? Now, we believe in a spirit world. You dig what I'm talking about? That upon your physical death is your spiritual birth. And this is the misunderstanding of living forever. That everybody, that they always talking about energy transferring and all that. You dig what I'm saying? Well, you got to be moving to create energy. Mm-hmm. So, my understanding is, you dig what I'm talking about. The spiritual world can't really work like that, being that we, as you say, you dig what I'm saying. We have and talked to the ancestors and spoke and had spiritual a spiritual rapport or communion with the spirits before we, as faithists, we find it hard to believe that a spirit is going to come back into a brand new body when we understand that the spirit lives forever, not the physical part. You see what I'm saying? So, the process, you did what I'm, yeah.
All right, let me ask you something. You brought up earlier that there are cases where I think they did this on Ripley's Believe It or Not. They had this whole episode on this little Asian boy that was proven that he was reincarnated. Then they proved that this little white kid. Then they proved that they've had, if you go online, proof of reincarnation, you're going to have a mildred of videos popping up where these kids are coming back and they're remembering exclusive stuff about their last incarnation. That is undeniable. Undeniable. So how do you explain that?
Well, it's explained very plainly and clearly in OWASP. This is called inspiration or obsession. This is spiritual obsession. This is what happens when a spirit dominates the spirit in a physical body. This is also what we call schizophrenia. You see what I'm saying? It is a lower spirit usurping and dominating the spirit in the body already. It's very easy to do with little babies and little children. So these spirits, these ancestors of ours, hold on. These spirits, these ancestors of ours, obsess children, and it is their memories that are rebrought through the children. It's not the child's at all. So we're not saying that the child is not saying what it's saying. We're saying where the source of the information is coming from. So that's how we explain reincarnation. You dig what I'm talking about? That's how we explain reincarnation. And then it go a step further. We can go a step further with it because it also explains through what we understand is force of will, that angelic beings can take on physical or a semblance of a physical body. So, you know what I mean? And so as you say, we don't, try to tear down anybody's ideology. We just try to explain it. You dig what I'm talking about? Bring truth to it and share our insights on it so you can add to yours. You see what I'm saying? Not to tear it down or to big me, little you type stuff. You dig what I'm saying? Because because on many levels, I agree with what you're saying. And on many levels I don't. But on many levels I do. You see what I'm saying? So I don't think it's no go ahead, brother.
No. I just want to say that I appreciate your spirit, and I appreciate the spirit of any adversary. I love that. I need that. I welcome that, because if you can enlighten me on something, just like the sister asking that question, I didn't go deep enough on it to explain my position, but I'm happy that you picked up on it and re-asked it. No, I need to, if you will, step my game up on explaining it so it can be understood. Because for me, it's easy. Of course we come back. Of course we come back. We always have come back, and we always will come back until we get it right. Some of us will take longer if we don't have descendants, which is why they use birth control on us, and they use us. Or when we do come back, we're coming back in chaos. So I hear what you say about the Bible. I have been reading that book, and I actually like it. I've been getting enlightenment on it. Like many books, I don't agree with everything that I read, but I challenge the validity of what I'm reading, not the source. I don't want to challenge the sources. So no, the validity, does it make sense? So I would just say to the sister with reincarnation, go check out the videos on does reincarnation exist, and you'll see that there's countless examples of people coming back that you can't deny it. And then if you say that it's memory, some of that stuff, the way they put it, I don't know, but that's a good angle. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm saying to say that it's memory, obsessive memory. I don't know.
Now also, to how do I put this? further, the discussion on genetic memory. You dig what I'm talking about? What you say we get from the placenta?
Yes, sir.
Right. Well, Creator explains to us through what is called Vortexian record or DNA. You dig what I'm talking about? That initially at the spark of life, everything that should be coded on a man is put into a man already, or an animal is put into an animal already, and a human comes into this world almost blank. Wow. You see what I'm saying? So it's sort of opposite of what you're saying. And another thing that OWASP teaches is sort of opposite of what you're saying, is that it teaches us that the so-called tree of life is the understanding of what you're talking about, of having sex and having children, and that knowledge, that whole knowledge base that comes with that. It teaches us the opposite of what you're saying, that it is through the physical birth of your children and the tie and the bond of love that will always draw you back. And it is through after times of you coming back, helping to raise your familial line, that you go on into the higher heavens.
When you say coming back, what do you mean?
In your spirit, in your spiritual life, your love for your children and the bond that it creates doesn't stop. It doesn't, end because you go into the heavens or you go into hell, and it is whatever, and it actually draws you back to your loved ones. And it is the loss or the will to overcome being bound to the things that are bound to the earth that allows you to ascend. So it's sort of opposite. Not that OWASP is saying, or I'm saying, what you saying doesn't happen. We're saying what comes of it is the opposite. You see what I'm saying? It's the love is the tie that binds. This is a truthism. This is not what I feel. This is a truthism in all humanity. Love is the tie that binds. And what we've been finding out as faithists is that death doesn't stop that bond. So basically, what you're bound to here, you're bound to there. As above, so below.
So where do you go when your belief? Where do y'all go when you go to the next stage after life?
That depends on how you lived your life.
Okay.
So For instance, we have a system, a spiritual rating system, all right, called grade, right? It's called spiritual grade or spiritual rate. And how it is strengthened or created, you dig what I'm talking about? Oh, okay, first of all, let me explain this. Spirit and physicality or corporal are opposites first. Mm-hmm. So in spirit grade, a person's grade is dependent upon the amount of good works done for others. So let's just say this. Let me make it make sense for you. If you do, now this is out of 0 to 99 scale. So if you do 10% of good works unselfishly for other people, and you do 90% selfishly for self, once you die, you're going to go to a atmospheric heaven situated for the tens. Let's say you go and do 30% of your time and effort is being put towards doing good works for others unselfishly, and 70% of time you do work selfishly for yourself. When you pass, you're going to go to a heaven situated for the 30s. And until you get to that 99th grade and are able to ascend or or rise into the higher heavens away from the earth, you will always be subject to the atmospheric heavens and the earth.
All right.
I hope that helps.
No, that helps. But let me respond to your most primitive nature, and then I'll try to answer that, Brother Lawrence. Let me ask you this, brother. So you mean to tell me what you just said elaborately? That's an elaborate contextual belief system, whereas you simply come back. you know, through the stress of birth, you might lose some of the memory that you have, but you simply come back. We are reincarnated. I think it's more difficult to prove. It's just right now. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that the book is wrong the way you just said it, but you just mentioned different layers of heaven that you got to achieve this, and then you go to the next level of heaven, something that you definitely can't prove, but I can prove at least to a certain degree that we do come back. Even if that child did this and that child said the same things that grandpa used to say, there's more proof in reincarnation than the different layers of heaven. But I'm not calling that wrong. I'm just saying it's more. Sometimes when you get into elaborate stuff like that, what I've found in the scriptures is the manipulation of man. When they go into what I call the metaverse or the metaphysics, beyond metaphysics mean beyond physics. It's not metaphysical to believe that we can be reincarnated, right? But it is metaphysical to believe that we die, we go to one level of heaven, then we do something, then we go to another level of heaven. If that makes sense. That's quite of a bit to believe in. So, you know.
Well, in rebuttal to the statement, we asked for, proof of reincarnation, and we haven't got it. But I would say, if you see, because we don't believe in reincarnation, we believe in perpetual incarnation. Perpetual incarnation. So I would say there is more proof of incarnation than there is reincarnation, for the simple fact is, you sit here and said even yourself that even our ancestors believe that their ancestors died and came back and talked to them. We've seen people for 1 billion years, since people could talk, say that angelic beings have come back to talk to them, low and high. So that right there is proving grading or incarnation. So the fact that there are so-called demons or angels, only proves incarnation, that these are men in what you may call metaphysical bodies. You dig what I'm talking about? Or what we would call atmospheric. You see what I'm saying? To take all the spookiness out of it. You dig what I'm saying? But go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
What about birthmarks, brother? Where Sister Soul got cut on the arm, and the child will be born with the same cut on the arm that grandmama used to have, or the same, somebody got shot in the leg, and they have a dark spot on their leg where they got shot in the previous life. I'm saying these traumas actually follow us from one life to the next to prove that. Now you reminded me of some proof of reincarnation. Birthmarks are one of the proofs of reincarnation. They're one of the proofs.
Well, we haven't seen people with the exact same birthmark yet. No, we haven't seen people do that yet. you would have to kind of show us two people, two different times, saying one had a birthmark then, and now he has a birthmark in the same birthmark in the same place 100 years later, telling the story of the other one. We don't find that in actual objective history.
I'm sorry. No, what the point that I'm trying to make is, no, what we do have is let's say if I got cut real bad right here on my forearm and I'm reincarnated, I will come back with a line or a cut or a funny mark like a cut in the same area. And I'm saying we do see these birthmarks. But if a person said, if reincarnation is real, how long can someone keep reincarnating, for eternally or temporary? It depends on, do you have descendants that you left behind? The more descendants that you have, that you leave behind, the more doors or channels that you have and opportunities that you have to be reborn again. That's why a lot of people say, don't have a lot of children. No, back in the day, you used to know that you have a lot of children will multiply your opportunity to come back. But when you don't have children, you don't. But you know, I hope that explains it, simply. But
Okay, hey, bro, is it your understanding that the life we live? Oh, first of all, do you believe in a creator? Do you believe that there is a creative force behind everything?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. All right.
I don't know who that being. I believe that there's something, but I don't know what it is. So I don't know.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So my thing is, if there is a creator, right? If there is a mind behind this, a all person behind this, right? Whatever he does, whatever it is, first of all, he's not in creation. He would be outside of creation. And secondly, whatever he did, he would do automatically perfectly, correct? Whatever the creator of creation, he would do a thing perfectly. He wouldn't have to make a mistake. So is it I can't hear you, bro.
I said in the religious story, yes, this being would be perfect without flaw, and he just knows everything and so forth and so on. But see, that's kind of going back to the belief that it's like a child who don't understand their parent. Sometimes we give too much credit, and we hyperlize our beliefs in that being, and we don't know. So I can't do that I don't know how we got here in the sense and what exists outside, but I do believe that there are entities outside of our dome that have higher knowledge, higher technology than us. And I think some of us might call them God. But before you, respond, real quick. Before you respond, I just want to say, Brother Selah, I do know you told me about 20 minutes ago that you wanted to shut it down. And I hope I ain't going too much over your time.
No, you good, Ken. I just wanted y'all to get a back and forth, a little couple question and answers. But one thing I want to say before y'all close out, you mentioned earlier about the English language coming from America, and I remember Cosmo said that when he was going at it with Vortex. And so for you to reference that, that's a commonality between y'all two. So I want y'all to touch on something that y'all have in common. Now that we showed that y'all could agree to disagree, now let's show something that how y'all could agree on something that y'all can share on the topic that English comes from America.
Okay, gotcha. And hey, I want you to know, Brother Cosmo, that I hear you on the reincarnation thing. I'm not saying that you're wrong about the different levels. I don't know if they exist or not, but I do believe that there's a lot of proof that we come back and we have more children. The more children we have, the more we have the opportunity to come back. The less children we have, the less opportunity we have, we come back. But I'm not disagreeing with you totally. I'm just saying there might be more than one way that this happens.
I get what you're saying. I mean, like, as I said, to me personally, it don't matter what another person believes. Personally, like I said, that's your religion or your own understanding. You dig what I'm talking about? And I wouldn't argue that point with anybody. You dig what I'm talking about? I wouldn't argue that fact with you. Especially being that I have a different understanding totally. You see what I'm saying? So what use would it be to sit here and try to bash on a man about his point of view because it's not my personal point of view? You see what I'm saying? We ain't cut like that. We ain't cut like that. But one thing I do agree with you on. Now, let's get into this about English not only being the foundational language of America, but is the language of the indigenous Americans, which has gone on to dominate the world. All the wise men today speak English.
That's right. That's right. I agree 1,000%. But you know what? A lot of people try to cut your head off for that. Like the same thing for flat Earth and the plane. Is it a plane? Is it a globe? They hate to hear that English is the first language. It is the oldest language, not the youngest. And that's been proven more than you know. I live to see he represents definitely yeah. By all means, my brother. Yeah, I agree 1,000%. And you got a lot of people that don't even build on that level, man. They don't ever talk about that at all.
That ancient language, many people mistakenly call that language Algonquin. It's not Algonquin. The English language that the Algonquin or the people of Egoquim, they called it Yeehaw, and which is where we get the term Yeehaw from. The English, the ancient English tongue is called Yeehaw, and it is spoken. It's spoken, but it's also signed everywhere in the world.
Yes,
this is water. Everywhere in the world, this is walk. Everywhere in the world, this is fight. You see what I'm saying? This is fight everywhere in the world. So this is how the language, our language, English, is a compound language. So it just depends on who I'm talking to and what we're talking about. So if I'm going to look at, let's say, the river, if I'm going to look at the big river, I say it in my tongue. This is Sepi. Let's say you French. You're going to say this is Messi, large river, large water. I say this is Sepi, large water. So now it becomes in English, Mississippi, which we called that ancient, in the Yeehaw tongue, the ancient Algonquin tongue, English, we called it Osceola. That's what we called it. But when we were talking to Frenchmen, we called it Mississippi or Great Water, Big Water. You see what I'm saying? That's how English came to work, because you brought out the most important thing, that the English spoke Danish, Welsh tongues, that the Irish, they spoke the Irish brogue, that the Danish, they spoke Welsh, that the Dutch, they spoke Welsh, that the French spoke the French.
That's right.
The tongue of France, that the Portuguese spoke Portuguese and Latin. None of these people that they are now Spanish. And let me give you this quick too, because if you really want to line some stuff up, this is why English compares with Spanish so well and French so well, or especially Spanish, because Spanish, or the España, or the spirit speech of Pan, is the oldest language in Europe. It predates Latin.
Wow.
The España, the España, or the Español or Spanish of Europe is older than Latin. So when you look at the English and the Spanish, almost 50% of our words, or 40% of our words, come straight out of Spanish. They're half Spanish, half English words, showing the antiquity of both of them.
Yes.
All right, so check it. You know what I mean? I just wanted y'all to touch on that for a minute to show some commonality. But we're going to go ahead and, you know what I mean, close it out. So, you know, Father Hassan, you know what I mean? House of Moray, go ahead and
let me close out real quick. I'm gonna close out so he can close out last.
All right,
Cosmo and Cal, man, just checking in, man. Y'all already know what we do, man. We come to balance all balances and check all checks, because you know what happens next when you see that butterfly vortex. And everything needs its crown. Hey, peace to Hassan. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do something. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do a little something tonight. But
keep me posted, Joe.
Peace to Hassan for coming in, dropping that light. Boy, you got an interesting view on things. I will say that. I don't turn down nothing but my collar, and y'all bet not either, man. Cosmo, man, breathe in, breathe out. I'm out.
Yes, peace and prosperity to the God.
Hey, that was
positive, man. So go ahead and close it out, man. This was an excellent build. You know what I'm saying? I must say.
I want to thank you again, and I want to thank you for bringing us back to common ground. I like that. I love that, because it keeps it from, being stagnated. I appreciate that. Thank you for having me on your platform, my brother. Peace and prosperity to all of the siblings that have checked out the build. I challenge you to do the research on anything that I've shared on this platform today. I challenge you to check out the Holy Bible of Canaan and let us have a dialogue and prepare you for the next stage that is going to be forced upon us. So the more knowledge you have and the more powerful you are, the more beneficial you will see yourself. So thank you, my brother, for giving me the opportunity to share that.
Most definitely. And we're going to have a part 2, because we ain't even touch on the whole book. So, you know what I mean? We'll skip another part. You know what I mean? I'll jot down some things to touch on for next time. You know what I mean? Once again, man, thanks for coming through, King. You know what I mean? You did your thing.
Peace and prosperity be to the family. I appreciate all of y'all, and I definitely appreciate you, my brother. May peace and prosperity be with you and your family, and we'll holler later.
All right, blessings, King.
Peace.
Salute. Yes, family. So there you have it. You know what I mean? We had an excellent build. Let's let the rhythm run for a minute. You know how we do. You know what I mean? So y'all can go ahead and order the book, Holy Bible of Canaan. Get that off Amazon. Shout out to the God Cosmo Cap for coming through. You know what I mean? Shout out to Hassan. Hey, Satan, House of Moray. Excellent job, excellent build. Controversial topics, controversial things. You know how we do. We up out of here, family. Until next time, Selah Shalom out. Salute.